Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 10 o'clock, your emails, a bounty of emails to get through, and some good ones. A lot of creative emailers this week. So we will, we got travel advice, we got entertainment advice, we got all sorts of good stuff in that 10 o'clock hour. 10:30, as is customary, Paul Finebaum going to just stop by and join the program. Big weekend for the SEC with both Florida and Auburn in the mix, and curious his thoughts on the comments from down at Georgia with Kirby Smart that we had for you yesterday in terms of what could be coming in college football with that House settlement on the 7th. 11 o'clock, a little higher, lower. 11:30, a little bit of Shelley time. My wife, when I woke up this morning, for some reason, I don't know what happened. I forgot to set my alarm, which is not normal for me. So usually set and away we go. She usually doesn't set hers, but on this day she did. So alarm goes off, and it's hers, not mine. Mine is come Monday. Jimmy Buffett, that's the way that I wake up every single day and have for probably 15 years. Do you guys use a song or do you use a tone?
I use a tone. I can't, like the song, if I do it as an alarm, it'll ruin the song for me.
Well, so ruin this one.
I was going to ask you, every time you hear, because this isn't to disparage Jimmy Buffett,
yeah,
but all of his songs have a pretty similar melody.
That's right.
Does it ruin all of Jimmy Buffett's songs for you? Like, can you not go to Margaritaville anymore?
I would I don't go there anyway, so I guess that's positive. I'm not a big Buffett guy anyway. Like, it's, if it's on, great, but it's not something I seek out, although I respect the hustle for sure. But yeah, I don't even remember how it came to this. It might have been like 15 years ago. It was just one of the songs that was on my phone that I downloaded. I don't even know how. I don't know how or why, but I've been waking up to it for 15 years. What do you got, Beck? You go tone or you go song?
So I always try to find the most annoying tone I can on my phone, and I use that because when I was younger, I was a heavy sleeper, so I had to get something that was super annoying.
So I have no problem getting up. If I hear it, I'm up. And my wife is a big snooze. She wants to hit the snooze 5 more minutes, like one of those. I'm always, what difference does it make? I'm going to be tired anyway. What's 5 more minutes? It's not going to really make any difference. I'm going to be tired. I try to sleep in a little bit on the weekends, but during the week, it's usually the same. So usually I'm up at 6, but for whatever reason, I forgot to set the alarm last night. She goes, I cannot believe you slept through that. I'm like, what? She goes, you didn't hear that storm? I said, no, I didn't hear anything. Went to sleep, 11 o'clock, woke up when your alarm went off. Did you guys make it through unscathed? Did you sleep through the night?
No, I got popped up by a couple loud thunderclaps.
There were some bombs last night, man.
So it did wake me up once or twice, I believe, but I was right back to sleep.
Yeah, I didn't get it. It's something that's changed. I think it has to do with the kids. Before we had the kids, if there was a rustling, I would wake up as I must protect this house. But then once I had kids, you just sleep through things because you have to. Otherwise, you're up. When they're little, you're up every 4 hours if you don't. And so that was always wifey duty. Like, she would go do that in the middle of the night, especially when she stopped doing the television stuff. So that was kind of her thing. And I would do some stuff when I got home from work, and that's when I would handle them. But that was always my time, was to sleep.
I think I'm one of the fortunate ones where you could have a thunder go off right in Odie's face and he would think nothing of it. But if a little dog barks, he's freaking the F out. So, thunderstorms do not bother him at all. They're almost an annoyance because it's just extra sound he doesn't care about.
Buddy Garrity, same thing. I mean, he wasn't. Now, I had my dog Rambo when I was a kid. Like, he was incredibly turned off by the thunderstorms. That did not go well for him at all. But for Buddy Garrity, so maybe just used to him because we have him so often around here that he gets right through it. I don't know. Bake, you got to do one of the things that you, as a kid, kind of would love to do, which is you get to skip school to go to a ball game. So you and the boys went down to the Reds game yesterday, buddy. Give me a little bit of paint a little picture for what your experience was like for a little businessman's delight down in Cincinnati.
So it was, going to baseball is undefeated, right? Like baseball nowadays with the TV, sometimes it's too long and you can't do it. But going to a baseball game is undefeated. And Major League Baseball, the past couple of years, really has done a great job of speeding games up. That game yesterday, and I know there wasn't a lot of offense. We saw a total of 6 hits yesterday. So early day for the bats as well, and they didn't really wake up. But 2 hours and 13 minutes yesterday. First pitch to the end. It was. Scotty looked over at us at one time. I think we were in the 4th inning, and he's like, "Are we in the 4th inning already? How did this happen? We just sat down." And but it was great. We had front row seats in the right field bleachers, so we were right there. There was a lot of heckling of Adolis Garcia going on from the three of us, and we had a good time. It was great. Cincinnati. They do baseball right. The Holy Grail was right there. You have a little food before you go in, have a little food afterwards. It was just, everything was perfect yesterday. The weather was great. We just didn't see a lot of offense.
What was your attendance like?
So the announced
understanding, I'm not going to hold them too high of a. I mean, it's a Wednesday in April, so like middle of the day, like tougher. But where were we?
The announced crowd was just over 12,000. Okay. It probably didn't look like that because there wasn't a lot of people up top, but there were a lot of people like in our section in right field, and there were a lot of people like behind home plate. It was actually better than I thought. I thought there would be less people there yesterday, but Scotty thought there would be more.
I mean, it's hard. School's not out. Unless you got some schools down in that area that got a late spring break. There's probably not a whole lot of that. It's considering what the weather outlook looks for the next 2 weeks in Ohio. They're kind of lucky they were able to play. It seems to me like we're in pure crap for like 2 weeks.
It was a nice day.
No respite.
It was a nice day yesterday at the park.
It was kind of like
a little windy at times, but
a surprisingly nice day. We're like, when did this happen? Because it felt at one point like it hit 80 degrees 10 minutes after it was 50. And obviously that's what happens before a storm system moves in. So I think we're getting a little bit more of that today, where you could get some scattered rain, but then torrential downpour Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, just going to rain. That's great. Love it. I mean, like, at what point are you going to be able to use a golf cart? July 4th? It's going to be cart pass only till like July 4th. Cart pass only. April's the big tease. You feel like you're through it. You're not. And this looks pretty formidable. Next 2 weeks, like NBC on the way to school today, pulled up like the 2-weeker. Not pleased at all with that entire operation. So there you go. So that's good. So you got the get out of jail free card yesterday. You got to go down to Cincinnati for a little afternoon delight. This was awesome. You guys were doing the show on the actual day of giving, but we talked about it with Dom throughout much of March, and then I talked about it with him on Tuesday as he joins us every single Tuesday with Tuesdays with DeBerry. And when he first told me, they told me off air that they were going to do this with Jersey Mike's for the Day of Giving and the Maria DeBerry Foundation. I knew that it was going to be big. You just, the combination of him and Central Ohio and that cause and that establishment was always going to be a real big one. You just knew it. But I think this probably even dwarfed my thinking of what was possible. He tweeted this out yesterday. I'm in total shock. Thank you to Jersey Mike's. They just donated $451,000 to the Maria DeBerry Foundation. Thank you to everyone for all the love. That is a staggering accomplishment. Good job out of all of you on the 26th who did it, because it doesn't happen without you. It doesn't happen without Jersey Mike's. It doesn't happen without Dom. It doesn't happen without a guy who took this. I love him so much. I've known him for so long. I'm sure that comes across every time he's on. This is a guy who took the worst day of his life, of any parent's life, the thing you fear more than anything on the planet once you're a parent. He took it and he made it for as good as possible for everybody else, and everything that he can do to prevent it to happen to you. I don't know if folks are aware of this, but when he goes and speaks to those schools, he relives that day every time. So he chooses to relive the worst day of his life over and over and over again. And he's doing it so that it resonates with some other kids, so that some other parent isn't befalling the fate that him and his family befell. So that's awesome. That is really great. This community is so powerful, so strong, so together. Dami is a Columbus native. He's been here forever and just an institution, and that pleased me a great deal to see that. So that's a good job out of Central Ohio. Good job out of Jersey Mike's on getting that done. Almost $500,000 in a day. Unbelievable stuff. All right, lots to get to on the program today. As I mentioned, your email's coming up at 10 o'clock. Jake Diebler with some interesting comments about what could be happening to the basketball team and who is coming back. We'll get his thoughts. He was on Juice this morning. That's coming up next. We're off and running on a Thursday edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
Nearly 90% of Ohio's children grow up, learn, and dream at one of our public schools. As lawmakers continue to hammer out the new state budget, They must make sure the school funding formula reflects what it actually costs to provide a great education for everyone. Tell your lawmakers to keep their promise to Ohio's kids.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect some dry time early this afternoon as temperatures climb into the low 70s and upper 60s. We'll see winds die down as well out of that southwesterly direction around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Returning showers and some embedded thunderstorms move back in this evening as we fall down to the lower 50s overnight. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Calora.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Vic, what was your order? What was your concession stands order for an afternoon delight?
So I actually didn't hit the concession stands outside of a pop because, like I said, we went to the Holy Grail. So I had some food there right before, and then we went back and had a pizza after. So I actually did not outside. I guess that's not fair. We did have some peanuts that we split, but
there you go. Reese, what's your baseball game order?
Well, it depends on where I'm going. I think I've said this multiple times. I discovered last season that the Clippers have Uncrustables. So I'll do that over hot dogs when I go to Huntington Park. And then if I'm at Progressive last time, it was stadium peanuts and hot dogs.
I'm peanut. That peanuts are probably the one thing that I have when I take the boys to a game. It's whether it's football or but especially baseball. There's something about just putting your feet up, having a cold one, and sucking down some peanuts. That's good. Kind of an undefeated experience.
Good. The peanuts and the beer together.
It just hits the salt. When it touches your lips, it just tastes so good. That's the whole thing. All right. We got Jake Diebler's on Juice this morning. We spent some time on this yesterday about how he's going to rebuild all of this with Adam Jody and how they try to flip quickly. One of the things I guess I just took for granted was that Bruce Thornton would be returning. I just wasn't sure what the options were going to be in terms of, now, of course, he could hit the transfer portal and see what's out there. And he's a really good player. Was he second team All Big Ten this year, I think. So he's a really good player. Teams would have wanted to have him, but he's been here 3 years. It was just hard for me to imagine him not being a Buckeye next season. Jake confirmed that this morning with Juice. Let's have a listen.
We're really, really excited about the retention aspect of building out the roster. I think that's where it starts heading into next year. You've seen, John Mobley Jr. announced. There will be some other announcements here soon. Bruce Thornton is coming back. As long as, he's going to go through the NBA draft process, which I'm really excited for him to go through, get feedback. And listen, if he can stay in and be an NBA player, great, because I think he is an NBA player. Maybe he's not yet. And if he's not, he's going to come back to Ohio State. And I think that's something that should be celebrated, right? It says something about, what we have going here, someone in today's landscape who's gonna be a Buckeye. We have a saying in our program, once a Buckeye, always a Buckeye, and who better lives that out than Bruce.
I mean, he's got to have a chance to be on the all-time scoring and assist list. Just as a 4-year starter, he'll be a 4-year starter. So he's got to be in that mix. Look, I really like him. I think he's a really good college player. I just think if you're going to be a team that is going to make a run in March, he can't be your best player. That's not. I hope that doesn't come across as a slight. I'm sure that it will for some. to me, if you're going to be a team that gets to the second week, I mean, hell, we got to make a tournament. We haven't done that in 3 years. So, like, you got to make a tournament first. But then beyond that, if you want to be a team that is a team of consequence, and I'm not talking about getting to a Final Four. We're a long ways from that. I'm just talking about win a game in the tournament. Win 2. I just don't think Bruce can be your best player. I think you have to have a surefire pro somewhere in your rotation, whether that's in the – obviously a surefire pro would be in the starting 5, but you have to have a guy, and maybe that's John Mobley. Maybe he develops into that surefire pro and a little bit more of a consistency when it comes to his outside shooting. Seemed like he got fatigued as the year went along a little bit to me. And he should have. I mean, the intention was to have Bruce, Michi, and Mobley last year, and instead they just had 2 of them. Speaking of Michi, here is Deebs on Michi venturing out of back into the portal and back to South Carolina, and Aaron Bradshaw. Remember, these were their 2 big swings last year in the portal. Neither one will be returning next season. Here's Jake on that.
You know, Michi went through a lot this year, and, you know, I'm glad he got a chance to kind of share his story. Clearly, you know, he feels a comfortability at South Carolina, so, you know, happy for him. And, you know, I think Aaron and I had some really honest conversations, and, you know, feel like it's best for him. You know, I think he feels it's best for him to go find a situation where with maybe some more consistent, you know, minutes and opportunity. And listen, that's what this time of year is all about. It's about honest conversation.
Speaking of honest conversation, this was a bit of a longer one, but this was Jake to the fellas on Morning Juice about what went wrong this season.
It's new, and everything was new for us this year. And I think the combination of the newness and then our inexperience, you know, four of our top 7, 8 guys this year were all freshmen and sophomores, and those sophomores didn't have much experience. And I think there were times, you know, specifically you look through the closeness of some of our games that came out, and it was an issue for us. I thought we got better as the year went on, but we would, you know, obviously with retention and as we attack the portal this season, we're focused on, you know, more experience than what we did last year. And I listen, that was something for me as a head coach that was, you know, a lesson that was learned and came out throughout the course of the season. I don't think it has to exclusively be old guys you look at, but in a collection for us on our roster needs to be experienced. There needs to be a toughness, a winning first. Like, those are the kind of characteristics that we are constantly looking for in the portal, but certainly experience.
Okay. I think you do have to have some pushback on the young part of it, because, you know, when he's talking about his 4-7, the only freshman that played was Mobley. I mean, that was kind of it. The only sophomore, I mean, a sophomore is not inexperienced anymore. This is college basketball 2024-25. I mean, Devin Royal was obviously a fixture. He was a sophomore. Sean Stewart was a sophomore. But beyond that, I mean, it's. I guess Aaron Bradshaw's a sophomore, but at some point, like, that's veteran. That's a veteran team at this point. So I think if you're looking for, like, clues in terms of what my hunch is Jake is looking for in the portal, I'm guessing he's looking for 22-year-olds. I'm guessing he's looking for 22, 23-year-olds, 4th, 5th year transfer. Those guys are expensive. You're going to have to play a premium for them because everyone's looking for those guys. Like, he needs what he essentially needs is a professional college player who's played someplace for 3 or 4 years and has been developed and is a man, and he needs him to come in here and be one of the men. That's the path, I think. That's the way I read that, is that their pursuit will be on veterans who are 22 years old, 3 years of college basketball, and kind of coming to Ohio State to get a payday, be a professional college player, certainly, but also a little bit of finishing school at a big-time program.
It sounds like what they want is a known commodity, right? Like last year, their 2 big additions, well, Michi was a big unknown commodity. Obviously, we know what happened with that. But Bradshaw and Stewart were guys that didn't start on those teams, didn't get a ton of minutes, right? And they were thrown into a starting role here, and you just didn't know how they would react to that. It sounds like they want something that's known. They've seen the production on the court before.
Yeah, I think everybody got some experience last season. I don't know if they got better as the season went on. They certainly became. They certainly got more tread on the. I guess they got more tread on the tires. They played more basketball.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to look back on with John Mobley, the idea of him having to be thrust into that starter's role because of Michi's absence as a positive from this season.
It's a positive only if they turn it into something next year.
That's the ask.
I mean, he's got it. That's it. You look at the best, highest ranked portal players right now. And I mean, I don't know that they can swim in these waters because my guess is these waters are occupied by North Carolina and Kentucky and Kansas and those type of schools. That's why I truly, when I ask the question, how do you build Ohio State basketball? I don't have an answer. I don't have one. There's a kid named Yaxel Landenberg who played at UAB last year who's a 5-star power forward. He's the number 1 guy in the portal. The number 2 guy's already committed to Iowa. The number 3 guy, R.J. Lewis, played at St. John's last year. He is still open in his commitment. But everybody else has kind of already been committed or found. The number 6 guy's goes from Gillespie, goes from Maryland to Tennessee. DeMary Jr. goes from Georgia to UConn. You're not going to swim in those waters. So to me, when I listened to Jake this morning on with Juice, he's very candid about it. They need John Mobley Jr. to be a star. Him and Devin Royal need to be like all Big Ten level players next year, because I don't think there's any cavalry coming over the hill as a number 1 option. So I think what they're banking on is what you saw this year will just be a little better with a year experience. And it's possible that it will. It happens. People do get better. But that's the ask. There's no white knight here coming to save it. You need those guys to be all Big Ten level players next year. Well, we did get some. Is it an issue of semantics, or is it something that actually needs to happen? We'll explain in regard to Buckeye football in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? Super juice.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations: Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday. I did chuckle when I saw this social media tweet yesterday from Ohio State. The tweet went as follows. Game on. We heard you, Buckeye Nation. The name Spring Showcase didn't capture what this day really means, so we're calling it what it's always been, spring game, because this is more than a practice. It's a game day experience built for fans. Adding, yes, the team will be competing on the field. Coach Day is planning a full spring game style experience with game reps and big stage atmosphere in front of Buckeye Nation that helps prepare the Buckeyes for Saturdays in the fall. According to the press release, Ohio State fans can expect from the spring game a game-style reps, loud electric crowd needed to stimulate game day, family-friendly pricing to pack the shoe, the return of the reigning champs, and a first look at the 2025 Buckeyes. Tickets for the spring game start at just $8. Buckeyes will also offer 2 premium options, including reserve seating starting at $20, club seating starting at $35. Ohio students can attend the spring game for free by showing a valid Buckeye ID. Parking is also free for all patrons. Ohio State spring game going to kick off at noon a week from Saturday. Time for the Fan Fest and the team's arrival at Ohio Stadium are still to be determined. This is a twofold. And I should say, I believe I have this confirmed through Jerry Imig. Next Thursday at 11:30, Ryan will join us on the show. So Ryan will be on with us next Thursday at 11:30 in advance of the spring game. So look forward to that a week from today. But a week from Saturday, you're going to get the spring game. I think this is twofold, and I think it's pretty straightforward what it is. Number one, Ryan needs game reps. I mean, it's something I've been harping on all spring football. He's got to replace 13 starters. He has 2 quarterbacks vying for the starting job who don't have reps. Next to none for both of them. How many passes did Lincoln Kienholz throw last year at Ohio State? How many passes has Julian Sayin thrown collegiately in his life? Lincoln had the Cotton Bowl game where it was just malfeasance.
Nope.
That he was out there. I mean, it's just crazy. Like that game is so hard to even wrap your head around. But in terms of like experience, folks, we open with Texas. Yeah. Arch, Texas, game 1. They need to have reps in front of 80,000 people. Lincoln Kienholz grew up in South Dakota. I mean, he's year 3 in the program, but in terms of like reps in front of a crowd and reps in that stadium, he needs it. Julian Sayin needs it. He needs reps. He needs to throw the ball around a little bit. Do you have that for me, Bake, on the passes attempted career for both of them?
So Lincoln Kienholz's career is 22 attempts. They were all in that Cotton Bowl against Missouri. And then Julian Sayin, I believe, I'm pulling him back up, it's not a lot. He had 12 attempts that were all last year. So obviously not a lot of game experience. And Bo, this is why I believe we had this, right?
Yes.
When they said spring showcase, we were like, it's not going to be anything different than what we've seen for the last 10 years.
Sometimes marketing people can get a little ahead of themselves.
I think you're right.
When you have Matt Rule come out as the first one to publicly say what a lot of schools, it turns out, were doing and thinking was it has to be something different than a traditional game because, for tinfoil hat Matt Rule, I don't want people poaching my players. But for Oklahoma State, for USC, for Texas, it became we're not necessarily going to do something spring game style. We're going to have the spring, whatever you want to call it. And the marketing person at Ohio State said, we'll call it a showcase because we can't have it be a game. Yeah. And I think it was not understanding the importance of the spring game to this community. Because I remember looking at Tyvis and I go, for players, the spring game isn't so much about you guys. It's more about Ohio State and the fan base. I think it's truly a spring, it's like the first sign of spring, or really a thing for the community to kind of come out, people that can't afford tickets to the Horseshoe on a normal game, really an embrace of Ohio State and the Ohio State football community. And now, this year, it's become a lot about some of those younger players that you mentioned. So it's kind of a marriage of all of that. And I think just the game is so much more important. The gameness of it. So call it what it is.
You guys have been here a long time. You grew up here. I've been here since 2007. Look, I don't know when the official day of spring is. It's probably sometime in March. I don't even know. Sometime in March. Official day of summer is sometime in June, I think. I don't even know. Like the 22nd, maybe of June. I don't even know. Here's what I do know. In Central Ohio, the official start of spring is the Ohio State spring game. The official start of summer is the Memorial Tournament. That's it. Those are the things that we point to in the community and say, okay, spring is here. Okay? That's the Buckeye spring game. That's what it is. And summer is here. We're at Jack's place. Okay? You could start summer now. You can. That's how it works. So you're exactly right, Reese, on the marketing side of it. The other reality is, it probably created confusion in the marketplace. You guys have to remember this, and this is Ross Bjork talked about this with us when he was on all the way back when we were at the live practices in August or July, whenever the hell that was, a long time ago. They have to find money, folks. They got to find money in this athletic department. They got to find money in the shoe. He said, we want to be the first $300 million athletic department. Okay? You can't do that by not taking full advantage of the things you already have, and in addition to that, creating new found money in the things that are already there. That's why you're going to have a restaurant in the shoe. That's why you can now buy tickets to get an all-access pass to Ohio Stadium and see it all. They need 80,000 people in there. They need it. You can do the math. Start multiplying that times $8. Start multiplying that those reserve seating at $20 a ticket or $35 a ticket. We are in a world in college athletics where if Ohio State is going to keep 36 or whatever they are at now, 36, 38 varsity sports, scholarship, all of that, and they're going to have to start paying this stuff out. The only way to do it is to not at all have a drop-off in the money you already make and have been making for 25, 30 years, but also to find new money. So just from a business standpoint, there was ambiguity in spring showcase versus spring game, and now the ambiguity is gone. You're going to get the experience that you typically get, and hopefully the weather's great. When the weather's great, my guess is the walk-up traffic goes through the roof to this thing. And I think everyone's kind of just waiting on the day to be great. If the day's great, then it's as good a day as you're going to get. Have some pops outside the shoe, go in, watch they put on a hell of a show, too. I mean, they always do all of the fun stuff. Remember last year, Fox is there and Ryan's down on the field saying, watch this for Jeremiah Smith. Like, they're here. They're Gladiator. They're Maximus Aurelius. Like, are you not entertained? That's what they're going to do. And to me, my favorite Buckeye spring football games are the ones with a new quarterback. And the fun part is the following Monday after it, we hyperanalyze what we saw. I remember Threes and I, after Justin Fields played his spring game at Ohio State, going, whoa, we got a long way to go here. We got a long way to go here with this kid. I'm not sure he's ready. And he was more than ready. He was more than ready. And I would also say that in regard to the quarterback situation, they shouldn't be looking great right now. The defense is always ahead of the offense, always. And these are young kids. So they shouldn't be lights out right now. If they're dominating the defense, and we got big problems because these are young kids and they need a game, and now they're going to get one. So that's I think it's pretty much, it's twofold. It was, quite honestly, Ryan Day needs a game. He needs game reps for young kids. They need that. They need it in front of a bunch of people. And then the other thing was the marketing ambiguity of a spring showcase and people going, wait, what are we seeing here? What am I paying to watch? It's like, oh, spring game. Yeah. That's what we do. We do the spring game, and we'll do it well. As I mentioned, Ryan Day going to join us next Thursday at 11:30 in advance of the spring game a week from Saturday. All right, coming up next, some interesting comments from down in Cincinnati in regard to Trey Hendrickson. A pretty wild night on both the ice as Ovi gets inching ever so closer to the great one, the Diamond as well, and the Cavs with win number 61. We will take a look at the world in sports coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining LifeSearch to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. LifeSearch featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane, manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through April 15th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution Specialists.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
And as always, we are brought to you proudly and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. There is a line in the cinematic classic Smokey and the Bandit where, I won't say the first part of it, but Buford T. Justice says to some adolescents as they're standing outside alongside the highway in Texas, you can think about it, but don't do it. And I think that's a little bit what Katie Blackburn probably should have heeded advice yesterday. She's the Bengals, she's owner, it's Mike Brown's daughter, and she's at the NFL annual meetings and had this to say in regard to Trey Hendrickson. I think he should be happy at certain rates that maybe he doesn't think he'd be happy at. I think some of it is on him to be happy at some point. If he's not, that's what it holds up sometimes. So I don't even know what that means. So, it takes him to say yes to something, and also we have all the respect in the world for him. So it's just a word salad, but it's a disrespecting word salad. And here's the deal. You could think this, and you can say this publicly, but and here's the damn thing about them. They've had a great offseason. They kept Jamar Chase. A couple years ago, they got Burrow locked in. They kept T. Higgins. They're winning the offseason.
You can't say that publicly, which he did.
There's no win. What's the gain? Like, who wants to hear that? Like, you think it all you want, but don't say it like that.
We just heard last week, right, when they signed Higgins and Chase and got those guys locked up. We don't like people thinking that we don't pay our players. This is why people think you don't pay your players. How can you come out and say this and then be mad if somebody reacts that way to it?
Of course, I'm sure what happened. Look, they're in part what Cleveland did with Miles set this thing off. Right? It's their own fault. They could have gotten Jamar Chase done last year for probably $34 million a year average. Instead, they made him play out the year. Remember, he was upset about all of that. They eventually paid him. They had to make him the highest paid non-position player. The Browns reset the market on what that meant from $36 million to $40, and so Jamar Chase is at $41. But now Trey Hendrickson's saying, well, I led the NFL in sacks. I need 40. And she's saying, well, you can't do that. We can't have 40. We can get you 35.
Be happy with this slice.
Right.
Don't ask for a bigger one.
Fine. But all of that can be said privately. That shouldn't be said publicly. It just casts. All right. So here, let's listen to Hendrickson. So we have Hendrickson, right? This was on the McAfee show yesterday. By the way, like, it just turns out like they just get these guys on like the next day. Like when something, that's why I think there's something to that whole story about Rodgers committing to the Steelers when McAfee's in Pittsburgh. Like that would all add up to me. McAfee's a Pittsburgh guy. He's going to be there live. Rodgers live on set. I'm going to be a Steeler. Like that totally adds up to me. So this was yesterday. This was Trey Hendrickson on the McAfee show talking about the comments, among other things.
First off, yesterday was April Fool's, so I was traded to all 31 teams and had like 100 different contracts. So the one thing I was hoping that was an April Fool's joke was that article, but called my agent, found out it was not. And that was a little disappointing because communication has been poor over the last couple months. That's something that I hold in high regard. They have not communicated with my agent directly. It's been something that's been a little bit frustrating, but again, this is the business of it. I'm incredibly blessed to be in the NFL, and I'm excited to be a Bengal, right? To have a year that I have remaining on my contract. We can get into that real quick. Last year and the year before, I've been talking about long-term contract, guaranteed money, things like that. And it was discussed with me in a meeting, which I'm very fortunate to have had with my agent, that we would get something done this year. So that being said, last year, go out and play to the level you have, we'll get it done. That was communicated with me. So that basically, this year is going to get worked on. They also reiterated that at the Combine. So that just kind of clears the air on that. And moving forward, the happiness of my camp, they are more than welcome to call me. I've had my cell phone, same cell phone number since high school. Open line of communication is always open with me and my agent. So if they have anything they'd like to discuss, we've been nothing but willing to listen.
I believe him on all of it. This is the same thing Jamar Chase said. Remember when he was upset? We just referenced it. He was upset in camp. Like, wait, they said we were going to get this done before camp. Right? This is so the two organizations who would not let this get to this. One is the Philadelphia Eagles. So what the Eagles do is when they feel like they've got one, homegrown or not, one of the guys on their team who's young, who's going to need to be paid, they pay him right away. Let's get him that money right away. Let's transition it into bonus as quickly as possible. Let's make sure that we can manage the cap. Let's pay it first. Quite honestly, the other organization that does this is the Browns. There are others, but the Browns operate the same way that the Eagles do. You're a good player? I mean, Miles has had 3 different extensions that when his contract wasn't up. Like Denzel Ward, they get ahead of it. Let's get you your money right now. Let's get it to you now. Let's get you in a big signing bonus. Let's keep you happy. Let's keep you in-house. Right? This is two players, Chase and now Hendrickson, who have publicly said, we were told we would be taken care of, and then we weren't. And here's the crazy thing. It just ends up hurting the Bengals. Because now they had to pay more for Chase than they would have had to pay for him in August. And now, because of the Crosby deal, the Miles deal, they're probably going to have to play more for Hendrickson. Or else he's going to play the last year of his contract pissed off. Those are kind of the two choices. You just think how lucky they were that Burrow was there. Right? I mean, because the way that now you got to give them credit. I'm both sides of this thing. I got to give them credit for getting Chase done, getting Higgins done, getting Burrow done, all of it. But I don't know that it's the best football business to make it to be this leveraged every time you do an extension.
It almost feels like they don't know another way to do it. And what they've been doing over the last couple of months has been outside the norm. And then they just had to regress back to it with comments that you just need to say, we're working on it. We're hoping to get it worked on. Because you had everybody and their grandma 2 weeks ago saying the Bengals are adamant. They want to get this done. Just keep towing that company line, Katie. I don't understand how that's so difficult to do. But it is kind of like a super rich person to tell everybody else they just need to be happy with what they've got.
She's like she's Nepo.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, she's not in that position if her daddy didn't own the team. I mean, the NFL's like Nepo baby central.
Now, she's improved it from how Mike used to do it. There's no question. Like, it's her and her daughter. I mean, they've improved the way that Mike used to run it. But this is a very Mike Brown comment to me, Bake.
When you hear his comments on this, it makes her comments sound even more ridiculous because he says communication has been really poor the past few months. Well, how do you know if he's happy or not with whatever piece of pie you're offering him if you guys haven't been communicating with him? And like you said, Bo, we have no reason to not believe Trey Hendrickson here because we heard the same thing with Jamar Chase last year. Mm-hmm. And this has seemed to be the Bengals rhetoric for a long time, right? Yeah. So, how do you know if he's happy or not with whatever you're offering him if you haven't been communicating with him? He literally says, my cell phone hasn't changed since high school. You know how to get a hold of
Which
me.
is incredible. What's the longest you've had your current cell phone number for?
2006.
Yeah, I've had mine probably, it's probably almost 25 years now.
Yeah, I didn't think about it till today, but I think I'm on year 15.
Yeah, 2006. Yeah, it was in the early days of the cell phone, they would turn them as you remember, because you would play the game of provider to provider to find the better deal, and the better phone.
You couldn't switch the numbers over then.
Yeah, and then they couldn't transfer them. But now it's I got to be honest with you. I think the only phone numbers that I know are mine, my wife's, and my childhood house phone. I don't know any other numbers.
Because they're
how
just
many
all
do you know
plugged in.
off the top of your head? How many phone numbers do you know?
I think
Not
I could
call such and such that you know.
I think I could do 3 that are still working, but both my parents' cell phones when I was back in high school. But I don't remember. I don't think they have the same numbers now.
Different numbers
they have
now,
different numbers.
So I'm usually pretty good at remembering numbers. And my parents' numbers are one off from mine, so that's easy. I could do quite a few. I could probably do 20 or 30. I don't even have to look at this sheet of paper to call Paul Finebaum here in a little bit. It's just in my head.
You have the number memorized?
I have it memorized.
You don't say call Paul.
Okay. Jody's too. I've got the people we call regularly, I have memorized.
Okay. All right. Second hour of the program up next. It is your emails, a lot of good ones. We will get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan, it's always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
As men get older, our bodies change. We all know that. And often, we just accept the changes as the way it is. But some of those changes, such as bad sleep patterns, low sex drive, brain fog, no energy, and reduced gains in the gym could be due to low testosterone. And that is something you can change. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And even if you're in your 30s, if you're experiencing some or all of the symptoms I just noted, you very well may need low testosterone treatment. With our treatment protocols, if you're like most men, you'll be amazed at the change. You'll have more energy, improved mental clarity, your sleep will be better, so will your workouts, and you'll likely find that your sex drive increases too. So give us a call today and make the change for good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale. With same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Your home is more than just 4 walls and a roof. It's where life happens, where memories are made, where family gathers, and where you should feel safe. At Newman Roofing, we know that when it's time for a new roof, you want to feel confident that you've hired the right company, one that will install a quality roof and complete the work as promised. But with so many roofing companies out there, how do you know which one to trust? For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has helped more than 7,500 families protect their homes with quality roofing, gutters, and siding. We believe you deserve a company that provides a white glove customer experience, one that pays attention to every detail and treats your home like it's our own. At Newman Roofing, we're not just another roofing company. We're a family-built business that stands behind our work. So when it's time to replace your roof, don't settle for uncertainty. Choose the local family with a reputation for excellence. Choose the company you can trust. Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Guys, it's college hoops superfan Timmy Hall. The finals are here, and the only thing for sure is this. It's the last time to bet on college basketball this season. It's been an amazing ride to get here, so get in on all the action, expected and unexpected, with DraftKings Sportsbook. Live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. Ready to make the first bet? Check out the matchups, pick a team to win. It's that simple. First time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971 for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Bruce Thornton's coming back to Ohio State. Buckeyes head coach Jake Diebler told Morning Juice earlier today Ohio State's junior guard will enter his name into the NBA draft evaluation process, but expects to return to Columbus next season, joining Devin Royal and John Mobley Jr. for Team 127. In the NBA last night, the Cavaliers beat the Knicks 124-105. Magic number for Cleveland to clinch the top spot in the East is now 2. Cavs have 6 games remaining and will play in San Antonio tomorrow night. In baseball, the Reds open a 4-game series in Milwaukee Thursday at 7:40. The Guardians, have the day off. In the NHL, Alexander Ovechkin is 3 goals away from breaking the career goals mark set by Wayne Gretzky. Capitals are in Columbus next Saturday. Tonight at Nationwide, the Blue Jackets host the Avalanche at 7:30. Jackets are 2 points out of that second wildcard spot in the East. We'll have Blue Jackets pregame coverage at 6:30 and breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour of the program. Paul Finebaum coming up at 10:30. Looks like there's some momentum down in Dallas. Another meeting at a Marriott. Heather Dinich reporting that there could be some momentum to a straight seeding model in the college football playoff that could be coming this season. So we'll discuss that with him coming up in about 27 minutes from now. Time right now to hit the mailbag.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
A lot of good ones this week. We kick it off with Max. The subject is Andrew Berry. Bo. How can you continue to give Andrew Berry a free pass? He has done nothing to generate confidence. One wonders what his hold is on the Haslams. Any other team that would have sent him packing by now? I guess I don't know that I've given him a pass. We haven't really discussed that part of it much here on the program. I do think he's under tremendous pressure to have a very good draft to land on a lot of these picks. I think Andrew Berry deserves a lot of credit for what he's done via the trade market. They basically stole Amari Cooper. They basically stole Jerry Jeudy. There's been other things they've done in free agency that have been big hits. Dalvin Tomlinson comes to mind. I would say that from a draft perspective, he needs some more hits, and it starts right now. I think the Haslam's view of this is one of, we were an organization that lacked stability for a long time. We really believe in this coach and this front office, and we believe that they will get it right. And I think they don't want to go down the road that they were on for a decade, where every 2 or 3 years, or sometimes year, they were replacing a coach and general manager. You don't want to reset all the time. And so I think that's probably how they got to where they are. But I do think this is a monster draft for him. I think Andrew Berry and his team need to hit this draft.
That makes sense with the Haslams because of where Jimmy Haslam came from, right? He had been a part of an organization in Pittsburgh where they have probably the least amount of change in general managers and coaching as anyone. But I do think, like Andrew Berry, it's tough to grade his drafting, right? Because they traded the last 3 drafts away, basically, in the Deshaun Watson trade. But I do think that this front office has taken a team that was built by John Dorsey, and it has gone downhill every year since.
Yeah, it was the Watson thing is on the resume. The Watson contract's there. It's an albatross. So this draft is kind of the get-out-of-jail-free card, and picking number 2 is at the center of it, Reese.
Yeah, this draft, this upcoming football season, I think is huge for everyone in that front office. Everyone really top to bottom of the organization outside of the owners, because you can't fire them.
You're going to get 2 of the top 33 players in this draft, and they need to look the part. That's it. They need 2 starters and 1 star. If you pick number 2, you better get a star. That's the idea there. This one from Kenny. The subject is push tush. Well, that would be something else entirely, me parenthetically. He writes, it's a rugby play, period. We're playing football, correct? I almost I'm almost a senior, and all of the BS changing in sports across the board just flat out sad. I don't know. I didn't read. I don't know how to interpret
Senior in life, college, high school.
That's what I would guess. An older gentleman.
Yeah. I guess the only way, if you want to get rid of the tush push, which I'm indifferent to, I don't really care that much. There's only one team that does it great. It doesn't feel like a cheat code to me. I guess what you would have to get rid of is you'd have to get rid of any sort of teammate pushing offensive player forward. Right? That's what it would take. Because I don't think anybody has problem with a quarterback sneak. The problem is the way that the Eagles execute it, which is they have two guys behind Jalen Hurts who just push the pile with him. So the three of those things is the reason that happens. So I guess if you want to eliminate it on the field of play everywhere where an offensive player cannot help another offensive player get forward progress, then I guess you could try to do that. I just think it's a tough thing to try to legislate out.
I was that way with the DH. Like I don't really care about the tush push or the brotherly shove. Like if you want to have it, but vote. And if you don't have enough people to vote against it, then it's good. And you can never again come back to banning it.
I know we talked about this the other day, but it's amazing how many people complain about a play that only one team can get right.
Yeah.
And that's why they complain.
It's still hard for me to believe that everybody has the DH. Like sometimes I still think it sucks. I liked how the two leagues were separate. I liked it. And I'm a NL guy. I like the strategery that came without the DH and how to manage pitching and all of that.
And it was great watching Bartolo Colon hit.
It was. This one from Robert Bird. The subject is Maryland as a destination. Robert writes, I listened to Tony Kornheiser's podcast. I wonder if he's the Robert Bird. I used to listen to Kornheiser's show all the time, and there was a loyal listener, Robert Bird. I wonder if he's the Robert Bird. It was brought up a while ago in discussion with Barry Svrluga, who writes for the Washington Post, that Maryland is in a disaster in terms of basketball. Its natural rivalries in the ACC and not in the Big Ten. In moving from the ACC, they effectively destroyed their basketball fan base for the guaranteed money the Big Ten offered the TV contracts. The incorporation of the Pac-12 schools has likely amplified those problems and added others: long travel, odd TV schedule. While Villanova is likely a significant downgrade in money for facilities, is likely to have a give-a-damn for basketball in surplus. This is he's parroting Svrluga here, and then taking it to another level. Of course. Yeah. You think Maryland alumni are jacked up to come to Columbus or West Lafayette or Minneapolis? Ann Arbor? No, they had rivalries, man. In the ACC, Tobacco Road. You can't create new history out of the clear blue sky and new rivalries. Mick Cronin talked about this with UCLA and USC, Oregon and Washington. Like, you think this is going to affect those schools where they were right down, not just travel-wise right down the road, but also their rivalries? Like, once you go to one of these Midwestern schools, it was all done for football, and we get it. And even in football, once you make that first trip to the horseshoe, if you're USC or you're Oregon or UCLA and Washington, which I'm guessing will happen in 2068, once that happens, once the novelty's off, then the next time it's just, God Lord, it's a 2,500-mile trip. I just did L.A. It's 5 hours on a plane. Direct. That's what it is.
I feel like that old Homer Simpson meme, and I feel like Nebraska football is the Homer Simpson backing into the weeds and bushes right here, because this is the same talk we've had about Nebraska forever.
Yeah, all anybody wanted was the money. And there wasn't a whole lot of thought to what, like, you could easily just sell your, like Nebraska went to its fans and say, now your most important game is Iowa. We're one of the most proud programs in the country. We used to play Oklahoma every year. That was our big rival. Colorado, those are our big rivals. And then they said, you know what? Our big rival's now Iowa. Drink it up. And people in Nebraska are going, wait, what? What are you talking about? And the same thing happened to Maryland basketball. I think the same thing's going to... The only thing that the West Coast schools is they still have USC, UCLA. They still have USC, Oregon, Washington. They still have a little of that. But I do hope, with whatever is coming down the pipe for college athletics, that there is some sort of reversal of fortune and these natural rivalries return. Couple other real good emails I want to get to on the other side of this quick timeout. We also have which athletes made the most in NIL, or rather had the most NIL endorsements. That list may surprise you. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Buckeye Lake Marina Open House is Friday, April 11th through Sunday, April 13th. Register to win some cool prizes and the grand prize of a weekend getaway at the lake, valued at over $3,000. Includes an Airbnb, a boat for the weekend, and $1,000 in lake area gift certificates. Buckeye Lake Marina will have the indoor showroom packed. Plus, you can visit the Docks and Marina store during the open house, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 11th through 13th. And you could win the grand getaway at Buckeye Lake. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for details. April 11th through 13th at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code REDEEM to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect some dry time early this afternoon as temperatures climb into the low 70s and upper 60s. We'll see winds die down as well out of that southwesterly direction around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Returning showers and some embedded thunderstorms move back in this evening as we fall down to the lower 50s overnight. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Kalora.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Let me ask you guys a question. Would you have had R.J. Davis, the North Carolina basketball player, having the most NIL deals in college athletics with 25? Total Juju Watkins. Not money.
Total deals.
Total amount of deals. He had 25 NIL deals at North Carolina. I would not have had that.
Yeah, I'd have had Juju.
Juju makes sense. But
not
basketball
R.J. Davis.
players make sense.
That's all of college athletics.
Yeah. So those two are, again, this is not monetary brought in. It is amount. So R.J. Davis and Juju Watkins had 25 each. Arizona punter Cash Peterman had 21 deals. Travis Hunter had 19. Quinn Ewers had 17. LSU basketball, Trace Young had 17. I don't know who Trace Young is. I don't know who that is.
Same.
Got me. The Cavender twins, they had 18. They played 6 years of college athletics, didn't they?
Yeah, I would have guessed they would have the most deals.
That's not fair. There's two of them.
They had 18 combined deals between the two of them. I assume every deal they do is together. But they were the ones that maximized COVID and all of that. But they played 2 years at Miami. They sat out a whole year. One of them transferred to TCU. But they both had full careers at Fresno State. How old are those two? They got to be 25. Don't they? Have to be. Paige Becker's on that list as well. A lot of basketball players on the list. And it's always been that way. It's just like in the NBA or anything else. It's just easier to do that. You got an age on the Cavenders for me?
The Cavender twins are both 24 years old now.
I was thinking they got to be. I want to say they both played either, was it 3 or 4 full years at Fresno State?
3 years at Fresno.
And then 2 each at Miami?
Yes.
And then they sat out a year?
One had a year at TCU.
But she never played, I don't think, which is allowed for her to play this. They both played this year at Miami. They're both pretty good, too. So they've maximized it. Livy Dunn's like that, too. She's still at LSU on the gymnastics team. She's been there forever.
Does it list how many she has?
She doesn't have. I would imagine that from an earnings standpoint,
the most.
I would say my hunch that the two that make the most earning in terms of money are on straight NIL are her and Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg's New Balance deal, it's got to be. I mean, it could be $30 million. His New Balance deal.
The first thing
he's in the face of the ads.
The first thing I thought of this with just Ohio State is Jeremiah Smith's got to be making a bunch and have a couple deals, because he's in the Nike ad and
yes,
Jeremiah Smith is top.
Yeah, I'm sure he's the most on this team and probably one of the most. I think probably the only one in college football that would be more would be Arch.
Yeah,
I mean Arch Manning could make as much as he wants. If he wants to make $28 million in NIL, he could. He could do a shoe deal right now, easy. In his sleep. I think the only thing is that maybe they aren't crazy about him doing it. But that's my hunch. A couple other good emails I want to get to here. This one from Brendan, who's obviously a loyal listener because his subject is 3 things. Here is what Brendan wrote to us. He writes, hi, Bo, welcome back, your favorite spring weather state. Here's another riveting edition of 3 things. Number 1, hats off to the fellas. He liked you guys. You guys did a good job. Bacon Reese, not only keeping the ship between the navigational beacons last week, but it was so great they found land and named it Baseball Town on the Fan. You guys did that? Baseball Town on the Fan?
We didn't name it. We were going to wait till the focus groups returned a better name.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours of baseball. I think
Did you have Gammons on?
No, he was busy. Kirkchin was busy because most of them, when I would reach out, they go, "Who?" I'm like, well, that's a very fair response. I called ourselves the AV cart of sports talk radio. Like, you're the Paulus teacher. Everybody gets to learn and kind of be a better human after listening to you. And Baker and I just kind of roll the thing in, and it's Wacky Magic School Bus Day.
I'll tell you what, it's a damn shame the torpedo bat didn't happen last week.
Oh,
because
you guys would have loved it.
We'd have had a heyday.
Open up the phone lines, take some calls on torpedo bats. Number 2, he writes, did this one in the Stephen A. Smith voice, did you stay off the weed this time around in California or act accordingly if you did partake in the gummy? I learned my lesson is how I'll answer that. I learned my lesson in terms of dosage.
Everybody does with those.
That was 2 years ago when I take CBD gummies to sleep to help with the sleep, and I just didn't see that it had all that sometimes they hadn't. Now we're full legal here, so you can partake in whatever you want to here. But in that time, that was a unique experience to say the least. It was like Hunter S. Thompson walking around the casita. Finally, number 3, here's my annual pounding of the table on why in the blue hell is there not more Kevin Harlan now that we've reached the Final Four in men's basketball. I love Iron Eagle, but Harlan is the best there is. Yes, even over the Hall of Famer Jim Nance, in my opinion. Thanks as always, Unc. Glad to have you back in the Buckeye State this week. I love Harlan, too. I don't know why. I don't have an answer for it. Why he wasn't. Iron Eagle's really good. I think that team's really good with Raftery and Grant Hill. But I do think Harlan is probably my favorite basketball play-by-play guy going. I think I like him more than Breen. To me, he would be. I think he's number 1 for me on hoops is Harlan.
I'm a big Harlan guy too, Bo. I actually appreciate Harlan even more on his radio call of basketball or football, either, because he does both. And you know who else I've really enjoyed their radio basketball call of, Bo, and this surprised me? John Sadak, who does the Reds games on FanDuel TV. Mm-hmm. He does NCAA tournament games for Westwood One, and I was driving to and from Dayton, obviously, for the basketball tournament, so I would flip around and get the basketball calls. John Sadak, very good.
I think Harlan's still doing like NBA stuff too. So I think he's just there. Those guys, man, like the ones that are at the top do everything. And so it's like, when do they get time off?
Summer, a little. And that's kind of it. This one from Vince. The subject is air travel question. My wife and I recently had to fly to L.A. The last time I had flown was 1990. Holy hell.
Things have changed a bit.
That's unbelievable. You should just walk on a plane in 1990, no security, nothing. The TSA restriction screenings didn't exist, so this was a different experience. The men and women at Port Columbus did a fine job. We both got through quick and easy. While waiting to board, I made this observation. Once past security, we could go to the gift shop, both buy a 20-ounce pop, 48-ounce water, a Starbucks, carry it all onto the plane. Does the TSA limiting liquids to 3-ounce bottles really solve a problem? No. I don't think it does. And I don't know that they even check anymore. They used to really be diligent on that, had to be clear. They would check. I think it's kind of like the shoes thing. Remember, we never used to take our shoes, and then somebody tried putting a bomb on a shoe to get on a plane, and all of a sudden we had to take off our shoes everywhere. So, like, my hunch is no, we'd have to get somebody in TSA to really be able to let us know that or not. But no, I don't think 3-ounce bottles really solve the problem at all. And quite honestly, I don't think it's enforced the way that it used to be a couple of years ago. This one from Gary. The subject is Val Kilmer. He writes, "Hello, love the show. Listen every day." Thank you, Gary. On the subject of Val Kilmer, there's a great documentary, I believe it's on Netflix, called Val, post-throat cancer, with his son narrating. Definitely worth a watch. Thanks for your time, and once again, love the show and the friends, too. I have not seen this, but I've had several people, since we spent some time yesterday talking about his passing, reach out to me and say that I need to watch this. Do you guys have any point of reference on this documentary?
Again, I've heard of it, but right now I don't know if I can take my heartstrings like that.
Yeah.
Something that would tug that hard.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. But someone also told me that I need to revisit The Doors. So I watched that in high school once. I haven't seen it since. But I was told that, like, maybe one of the greatest performances of all time is him as Jim Morrison. He looks just like him. So that checks, certainly. Loyal listener and all-around great human, the great Scott, with this. The subject is Sheridan in 1923. A couple of days ago on Three Things, I said just how depressing. 1923 has been. He wrote, "Hello, Bo. I too wonder why Yellowstone in 1923 started with such promise and ended poorly. After all, Sicario is one of the better films of the past decade, and Hell or High Water is quite good as well." I would echo that. If you like the Taylor Sheridan stuff, Sicario is awesome, and Hell or High Water is one of my favorite movies of the last 25 years. It's incredible. Taylor Sheridan is an actor turned writer, which might explain the lack of discipline. The modern Mount Rushmore group, and he's talking about Matt Weiner with Mad Men, David Chase with The Sopranos, David Simon rather of The Wire, Vince Gilligan with Breaking Bad, all longtime writers who actually know how to develop characters over season, use pace, mood, etc. Furthermore, they all hold mentors in the business. Weiner actually worked for Chase. Sheridan seems to get bored, and I'm guessing television directors aren't pushing back like a normal director would. Although the season stinks, I do get major credit for it ending at the train station near the Murray, since I took us there and stayed in that really cool room. The Murray Hotel is in Livingston, Montana. When people ask me how to do a Montana vacation, I usually there's two you can do. There's like the Yellowstone Loop that starts in Livingston and ends kind of Big Sky, Bozeman. And then the other one is the northwest, which is like the Kalispell, Whitefish, Glacier Park kind of version. There's two really cool trips you can do in Montana, and I'm pretty sure I gave Scott the heads up on the one with the Murray. I think he might be onto something here, though. That Sheridan's an idea man who thrives on enthusiasm, and right now, because he's had so many hits, he's completely unchecked. And so there's nobody watching the house to say, hey, dude, there's no arc here. That's my hunch.
That would explain the back half of season 5 of Yellowstone, where it's basically just him being the coolest person ever in his world.
Don't you think? I mean, when you watch his shows, I think of Yellowstone, I'm watching 1923. I've watched some of the other, there's another one I've watched. I can't remember which one it was, but it's like, I think that Scott might be onto something there. Like, he's an idea man, but he's not interested in long-term stuff. He's probably a better movie writer in that sense. And his movies are unbelievable. Wind River's good too. Go ahead quickly, Beck.
I'm still pretty angry that they killed off Colby in Yellowstone for no
murder
reason.
horse.
I just don't understand it.
I grew up around horses my whole life. That's absurd. That's almost as absurd as just mass murder in Montana and never getting caught for it. Almost as absurd as that.
If we had done a show meeting before that, like discussing that episode, I really would have pushed you to say, yeah, that happens all the time. These horses out there, man.
Murder.
You come in their stall, they will murder you.
That would have got my dad going because he wants no more people moving to Montana. So maybe I ought to push the murder horse narrative.
They're everywhere.
The horses just randomly will strike you dead. Paul Finebaum in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, buddy. Good to talk to you again. This is from your colleague, Heather Dinich, in the last couple of minutes. College football CFP leaders are meeting in Dallas today. Marriott points will be counted. Me, parenthetically, not her. Multiple sources indicated there's strong support to move a straight seeding model this fall while continuing to include the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. There are some, though, who want to tie that discussion to 2026, as the commissioners are expected to have a more substantive talk on the format in 26 and beyond. Okay. When you talk to the people that are important in this sport, what do they want this to be, ideally?
Essentially, Bo, they want a complete reexamination of the selection process and how the committee works, and that's why I think they are far more concerned about 26 and beyond than a one-off. So my instinct is that they are still on the same page they were when we last talked. They want guarantees because they don't trust the committee.
You know, we used to have a system that was a basis of polls and computers, and it spit out a number with an algorithm, and these were the teams. And I thought that worked okay in terms of that, where it used a varying, the old BCS model. So, all right, so they want guarantees. Okay, fine. Highest rank makes a lot of sense to me as well. Your employer is a massive part of this as the television partner of record. What does ESPN want the college football playoff to be?
I know this is going to sound like a company line, but it's not intended to be. I have never seen in 12 years of working here any evidence that they really get involved too terribly much in this actual process. I mean, they own it. They outsource it. They're more concerned about the dates and the times than I really believe they care about the matchups. I mean, last year, you saw what they did with the 2 worst matchups. They put them on Turner.
Yeah.
So they don't have as much to be concerned about. And I think ESPN has always been careful about that. And I know that people out there are rolling their eyes here. But I really believe that. And I talk to both sides. I probably get, quite frankly, Bo, more information from the conference officials than I do from my own bosses.
Well, you hit on something, though, that I keep coming back to with this is if you are the worldwide leader and you have this property, it seems to me like one thing you wouldn't want is to have to farm out part of this process. So my hunch is one thing that they would like is some dates locked in that keep them away from the NFL, that gives them a chance to maximize their product. How much is college football willing to work with the powers that be, the Sankeys, the people and guys who are running the sport? How much are they cognizant of that, of finding a landing spot where your television partner of record can actually air the games?
I think that's really the issue. And even though all these guys get along, Bo, Greg Sankey knows Roger Goodell, and they've been together, and I'm sure Petiti has similar type of relationships. I'm not sure Roger Goodell really cares. He's going to do what he wants to do, and the evidence is already out there. The whole Chris, he has done more damage to ESPN on Christmas Day than he's probably doing with the CFP, because that was a magical day from about 12 o'clock Eastern until midnight in the morning till midnight that ESPN ABC owned the NBA. That was the only game on. And now they've lost that. I saw it the other day where Goodell now wants to put because Christmas is on Thursday, he's going to put 3 games on Christmas, giving Amazon a game. And there's no comparison between some random Knicks Sixers game at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and the Chiefs and the Steelers at the same time.
No, there's not. Another thing I'm curious about, just from, and I don't know if you know this in terms of CFP leaders, what you've heard there, or more especially, you're probably going to hear this from coaches and athletic directors. We talk to Ryan Day about this all the time. Like, he's looking around, he's going, man, we just played a game like 6 weeks ago, and so we had to, they compressed spring here a little bit. They moved it back a little bit. Is there any talk or any momentum to taking this college football playoff and getting it into a more confined window versus spreading it out over what kind of amounts to about 2 months?
It's on the table, but I don't think they can move it. I talked to Mike Elko last night from Texas A&M, and he said we're going to have a spring game, and then he started qualifying it. He wasn't even in the playoffs like Sarkisian and Ryan Day and some of these other guys. But ultimately, there's nowhere to go. I think the only thing I've heard is to start it a week earlier, but that really doesn't solve many problems. December is a complete disaster. And it's a disaster for a couple of reasons. You have to have a weekend with the championship games, and you don't want them on Thanksgiving weekend. So therefore, where do you put them other than the next weekend? And then every time I talk about this, I catch stray bullets. But why does the Army-Navy game have to be the only game on that next weekend? We can still celebrate it, but how about putting some other games on that day?
I do wonder if that is like the one sacred cow that could get touched up here a little bit, because there's still so much money in the college football in the college football conference championship games, as you know. I do wonder if that is maybe a weekend that used to be sacred that no longer will be. So we will see about that. Kirby Smart had some very direct comments this week at his availability, talking about this House ruling that's happening on April 7th and the guardrails. I thought it was a pretty candid from a pretty powerful guy. And the one thing he said that I buy in completely is the hope is that this will fix some of this, but he seemed quite dubious about it. When you talk to the people that you're talking to, some of the most powerful people in the sport, and they're talking about what's coming on April 7th, is there real hope or is it false hope about what this could mean?
I think it's false hope. The one thing I've talked to a couple of different head coaches recently about is enforcement. And they literally say, we really do want some teeth in it, but they also know there's no way. And I don't know if this is really going to solve anything, what we think is going to happen next week, other than creating more issues. And I know you've discussed them with, the differentiation of what some of the Big Ten, not Big Ten, but Big East schools can do with basketball money. But one thing I know about the Big Ten, the SEC, and the Power Four, whether they're divvying up the money or not, they'll figure out a way to funnel more money. I think in some ways, Bo, it's going to become even more corrupt.
I think you're right. I think it certainly feels that way from up here, this perspective as well. Let's do a little football. Spring football everywhere. Is there a buzz coming out of a program down there? And it's hard because you have to separate some fact from some fiction, and sometimes buzz down there is a whole bunch of nothing, but sometimes it's something. Is there a quarterback, is there a program that you're starting to get some buzz down there that maybe could be something that is something we have to pay attention to in August and September?
I'm actually getting negative buzz from Georgia. You mentioned Kirby Smart, and I bring that up because they have been the face of the SEC, but I'm having people whisper they don't have the players this year that they did not 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And you saw them get exposed last year with the schedule. I still am very high on Texas. I talked to a couple of people at Texas this week, and in spite of the kind of turnover that Ohio State is going through and other schools are going through, they have recruited at such a great level, and they are just buzzing about Arch Manning. So I know that's very predictable and pretty obvious considering that game at the end of August, but that is the program I'm hearing the most about. I mean, there is conflicting stories on Alabama. You don't get a really good picture there. You get some outliers, and I'm not going to waste your audience's time with teams that could be on the fringe of the playoff. But ultimately, I think it's all about Texas and the SEC.
Last one, I'll get you out of here on this. You're still in Charlotte, right? You're still.
Yes.
Yeah. How is it going for Bill Belichick at North Carolina?
I'm getting very negative vibes on that. I know I know somebody who was there at a fairly important position recently and talked to Belichick and Mike Lombardi, his GM. And, the quiet conversation is that Belichick is somewhat clueless about college football, that he's a fairly good recruiter because he is Bill Belichick, but Lombardi is doing most of the operation. The one positive for Belichick is that the ACC is really at low ebb. Clemson is good. I think Clemson is probably speaking of buzz, Cade Klubnik and Clemson probably is not getting enough. I think they're a top 10 team. After that, who knows in that league? It's a little hard to figure out. So if he can steal a game somewhere, he can. I mean, what he's trying to do is be relevant on the cusp of the playoffs. And another thing I heard from a scout this week who was at North Carolina's Pro Day, he said that Matt Brown left that program with absolutely nothing. As you know, they had a couple of really good quarterbacks that matriculated the NFL, but that was it. His last couple of years, he completely checked out, which creates bigger issues for Belichick now than maybe if Mac had done his job.
You're the best, pal. Always enjoy it. Thanks for your time.
You bet. Thank you, Bo.
All right, there he goes, Paul Finebaum, the Paul Finebaum Show on ESPN and the SEC Network, joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We play a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
April 6th at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Rewards members get $5 off an acai bowl or an acai bowl with Nutella. Log into the app on April 6th to redeem your rewards. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done, enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or at goodfeet.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code REDEEM to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Reds fans, 2025 single game tickets are on sale now. Secure your seats for the biggest matchups at Great American Ballpark this year, including the Yankees, Dodgers, and Cubs. And don't miss out on honoring the Hit King on May 14th for a special Pete Rose night when all fans in attendance will receive a Pete Rose replica jersey. For tickets to join your Reds in 2025, visit reds.com/tickets.
Need a new heating or cooling system? Booking a free in-home estimate with Logan Services is easier than ever. In just minutes, you can schedule your appointment on our website. It's fast, simple, and hassle-free. Book a time that works best for you. We offer appointments throughout the week and on weekends. And next-day installation is available now. When you need help, we're here for you. With a home of fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
The Buckeye Show.
Jeremiah Smith, he should probably be on the cover of EA Sports.
Absolutely.
Like 100% probably will be on the cover. There's no curse for that, is there?
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, this came down about 10 minutes ago, so this week's been pretty good for the football Buckeyes in terms of recruiting. They got 5-star safety Blaine Bradford. 5-star wide receiver Chris Henry Jr. says he's done with his recruitment. He's going to be a Buckeye. And then earlier this morning, 4-star safety from Jacksonville, Florida, Simeon Caldwell, announced he was committing to Ohio State in the class of 2026. The 6'3" Caldwell had offers from Georgia, Miami, Michigan, and Notre Dame. He's a 4-star again in the 24/7 Sports Composite, the 12th highest-ranked prospect out of the Sunshine State in that cycle. Thing or not a thing?
Minimal thing. I know Buckeye recruiting is really excited about it. But I think until you get him to sign on the line, which is dotted, you got to you have to temper your expectations a little bit because fellas, it's April 3rd. December's a long way off. So it's good. It's good for momentum because one thing with recruiting is the momentum is real. So it shows commitments and the other kids want to jump on. But in the end, it's going to come down to those 2 weeks in December, keeping them locked in and getting them to sign.
Yeah, 10 years ago, Bo, this is a huge thing. Yeah. But now it's not really a thing until they sign that national letter of intent in late December. What is a thing, though, is if you were listening to Morning Juice this morning, Jeremy Birmingham gave a little foreshadowing of this when he said, hey, maybe expect some good news for Matt Guerrieri and Tim Walton coming up here later today. So Berm kind of knew this was happening and gave a little, just a little teaser of it on the Juice.
He's a little locked in. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise.
This weekend, Live Golf's going to be at President Trump's course in Doral. Speaking with reporters earlier this week in Florida, Brooks Koepka admitted he'd hoped LIV Golf would be in a better position entering its 4th season. Quote, I think we all hoped it would have been a little bit further along, and that's no secret. No matter where you're at, you always hope everything is further along, but they're making progress, and it seems to be going in the right direction, end quote. The Rogue Golf League, funded by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, is undergoing a bit of a reset with former Merlin Entertainment CEO Scott O'Neill replacing Greg Norman, in addition to other leadership changes, as well as a new broadcast deal with Fox in the United States. Live Golf has not seen a bump in television ratings in the U.S. for its first 4 events in 2025, which they had in Saudi Arabia, Australia, Hong Kong, and Singapore. Thing or not a thing?
Is this on a short list of the biggest wastes of money in sports history? What they paid for these guys? Now, they didn't pay for the ratings because they didn't care about that. They paid to own golf, I think. I think what they were trying to do is eventually own golf. And so they paid all these guys. This does not rate. Nobody in this country, and I'm sure there's 6 people out there who'll tweet me and say, I watch all the Live. Okay, great. You're the ones. No one's watching it. Some of the television ratings issues are the fact that they're these are taking place in Saudi Arabia, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore. Like, it's not here. So, like, when they do pop in on our shores, like this weekend at Doral, we're like, what? I don't even know what this is. And so I don't know what their intent of this was, but they threw hundreds of millions of dollars at a bunch of players who don't move the needle. And that's just it. And I don't think there's anybody in golf who does move the needle outside of Tiger Woods. I think he's the only one. And so people are locked into the majors, and they're locked in if you have a tournament in your town like we do with the Memorial. But other than that, golf is a 4-time-a-year operation. Ryder Cup a little bit. That's it.
Scotty Vegas is upstairs in his office right now throwing things at the radio, Bo, because he's got big money on this LIV golf event this weekend.
Of course he does.
He watches all of it. But no, I don't think this is a thing because, listen, we kind of expected this, right? With your TV deal, you didn't have one at first, and then you had the CW. They're on Fox now. They have some kind of deal with Fox now. Maybe as this has a better TV deal, maybe it catches a little bit of a foothold here. I don't know. Maybe because they're at Trump's course, they can get some kind of deal with the PGA done this week, and they can all go back together. Maybe have that Ryder Cup type event we've talked about. But, yeah, this is not really a thing.
So that's kind of where my thought process on this all was. Give it a couple of years before making a definite claim on its success. Right now, it's been bad. But if they're able to, use this as a jumping off point to purchasing golf professionally, like if the PIF in 5 years owns everything but the Masters, then it's a huge win for them because their money's still coming out of the ground.
Yeah, the thing that's so confusing about golf, though, is like the PGA doesn't operate any of the majors. The PGA Tour. Like the majors it's the Royal and Ancient, it's the United States Golf Association, it's the Professional Golfers Association, it's the Masters. So outside of that, then you're talking about those FedEx events, you're talking about Bay Hill, TPC, Memorial. There's a handful of them that kind of cross over, but there aren't that many. Week to week, outside of the diehard golfer, the diehard gambler, the audience isn't there.
Earlier this week, Roger Goodell said the idea of NFL players competing in flag football in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics has been a popular topic and suggested it was likely to happen. Quote, I've heard directly from a lot of players who want to participate and represent their country, whether it's United States or the country that they came from, end quote. Goodell said this as he wrapped up the NFL's annual owners meeting. Men's and women's flag football will debut as an Olympic sport in 2028, and its addition to the games comes in part because of the NFL's full-throated support. Flag football is a key initiative for the NFL because the league sees it as a way of growing American football internationally. Games are scheduled for July 14th to the 30th of 2028, and that might conflict with the start of NFL training camps later in the summer. Thing or not a thing?
I could be wrong on this, but one of the last lines you said was could conflict with the start of NFL training camps. If this 2028, okay, if you are the Washington Commanders, and let's say by 2028, Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in the NFL. You going to let him do this? You going to let him go screw around and play flag football? No. Furthermore, who is the best non-American born quarterback? Curtis Rourke?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm waiting. I don't know. There's not one in the NFL. And what are we going to do? Country of origin? Like, I got ancestors from Germany. Could I go play for the Germans? Like, what are we talking about here? This is not a global sport. The Olympics are in America, so we're going to do it. This is nonsense. This is utter nonsense. You could field, you guys tell me if I'm wrong in this. My hunch is you could field 1,000 American flag football teams that are better than any team in the rest of the globe. If the criteria has to be born in America to play, or born in the country of origin to be able to play for that team. How far down the list? Like, what are the Spaniards trotting out? Argentina going to have Messi play quarterback?
Flag football.
Luka Modric going to play slot receiver for Croatia? Goran Ivanisevic?
I guess
Roger Federer's the quarterback of the Swiss team? Like, what are we doing?
Luka Doncic is a pretty good passer. Maybe he could play quarterback.
Yeah, I'm sure the Lakers would love that. It's just stupid. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's not a global sport.
Yeah, this is not a thing at all. This makes no sense. And, whatever. If they want to have flag football in the Olympics, they had breakdancing. Who cares? I mean, I I don't know. The Olympic. It's so funny how far the Olympics have fallen. Like, it used to be must-watch TV when I was little, and now I couldn't even tell you the last time I turned it on.
It's some events that still cross over, right? It's the gymnastics, it's the figure skating, it's the track and field, the sprints, right? Those still capture our attention. The downhill sometimes. But this type of stuff, I don't know. I don't think this registers much at all. All right, final hour of the program up next. A little bit of Shelley time. Jackets back at it tonight hosting the Avs. We will get into that. We begin it with a little bit of higher or lower. That is coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Buy 5, save 5 deals are back at Meijer. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more when you mix or match on items like Dannon Light and Fit Greek Yogurt 4-packs, 5-pound bags of Halo Mandarin oranges, assorted varieties of Kraft cheese, and select 12-packs of Coca-Cola and Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. Saving money during the Meijer Buy 5, Save 5 sale makes grocery shopping a good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
When you reach for UDF's new pizza, you're getting more than just a quick slice. You're getting family recipe focaccia dough, handcrafted in our bakery. You're biting into a hot, crispy crust. You're tasting delicious sauce and loads of meaty, cheesy flavor. You might even be burning the roof of your mouth on that first bite, but that's okay. It's a good burn. UDF makes more than just pizza. We make pizza for you. New Sicilian-style pizza from United Dairy Farmers at participating locations. UDF, made for you.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April's a great time to spruce up around your house, like getting rid of those old, ugly, drafty, hard-to-open windows and starting fresh. Especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door, too. Plus, with 0% financing, 0 down, and no monthly payments, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. How do they do it? Well, Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then they pass the savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of those other brands. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. One more time, that's Buy 4, Get 4 free from Window Nation, 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Just 9 games remain for the Blue Jackets this season. CBJ enter Thursday 2 points out of the final wildcard spot in the East. Columbus hosts Colorado tonight at 7:30. You can hear that game with coverage at 7. Elvis Merzlikins looks to get the nod in net. As of this morning, the Avalanche are still in Chicago following Wednesday's shootout win over the Blackhawks. Strong storms in the Midwest interfere with air travel to Columbus. In terms of the wildcard race, the Canadiens and Rangers have 79 points, but Montreal occupies the 8th spot. Canadiens will host Boston tonight at 7. The Blue Jackets have 77 points, and they'll play the Maple Leafs in Toronto Saturday night at 7. In college hoops, Ohio State's Jake Diebler says Bruce Thornton will enter his name into the NBA draft evaluation process, but he does expect Thornton to return to Columbus for his senior season. And in NFL news, the Patriots traded Joe Milton to the Cowboys in exchange for a 5th-round pick. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. Shelley time in 27 minutes. That's interesting. The Avs have yet to arrive, so that's helpful as they played last night. So we'll get Jody's view of all of that between now and then. We play a little higher or lower. Hit it, Reese.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222 or visit online at thewaterworks.com.
Oh, baby.
Today's higher or lower comes to us from NFL Spin Zone.
Oh, man.
Lou Scattaglia has his 32-teamer power ranking all the teams in the football league ahead of the NFL draft.
What was the name?
Lou Scattaglia.
It's a great name. I mean, that feels like somebody in Bobby Bacala's crew is what that sounds like. That's a great name for Lou Scattaglia. I like that.
I think I saw him at the Reds game yesterday wearing his red sport coat and all.
I was just about to ask if you've seen him maybe at the ESPN Sportsbook inside the Hollywood Casino Columbus. But at number 1 on Lou's list of NFL teams he's power ranking before the draft, the Philadelphia Eagles. At number 2, the Detroit Lions. At number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Higher or lower for Buffalo there?
Where's he have Kansas City?
At 6.
That's silly. Buffalo can't be ahead of Kansas City, so I would have Kansas City as top AFC team. I would probably have them 2 just to Philly. It's going to be interesting with Detroit this year, though, isn't it, guys? When you think about, felt like they had everything into last year, and it was like their magical season. And then can you run that right back? That's a tough nut to crack. They had so many injuries. They can't possibly be as injured. Will they learn a little? New coordinators, both, right?
Yes.
For Detroit, new coordinators across the board. Dan Campbell is a follow me to freedom coach, not the schematic genius guy with the Shanahan, that type of operation. So he's going to lean on those coordinators as he always does. I think Detroit at 2 is. I think Buffalo's fine at 3. I just would have probably put Kansas City at 2.
Yeah, I would go lower with Buffalo here as well. I think in the AFC alone, the pecking order, I would still have Kansas City and probably Baltimore ahead of them as long as they have Lamar and Derrick Henry. So, yeah, I would go lower on Buffalo too.
Just for what it's worth, between Kansas City and Buffalo, he's got Baltimore at 4 and the Washington Commanders at 5. At number 7, the Green Bay Packers.
Wait, Commies 5?
Commies are at 5. Higher or lower
Ahead
for Washington
Kansas
there?
City?
Yeah.
No. Too much. They had a magical run. They landed on their quarterback. They've got some young talent. But ahead of Kansas City, that ain't it. Washington's got to come down a little bit. He's got some crazy stuff in here in the next group of teams now that I pull up this list here that he has. So that's just way too high for Washington. I think Washington's really good. They play in the NFC Championship game. The future is as bright as it's been there maybe in 30 years. But at the same time, it's too high for them. Kansas City should be ahead of them, too.
Yeah, I don't think it's way too high because I think they should probably be right there, 6 or 7. But, 5, just a little too high.
All right, at 7, the Green Bay Packers. At 8, the Denver Broncos. At 9, the Los Angeles Rams. At 10, the Los Angeles Chargers. At 11, the Houston Texans. 12, the Minnesota Vikings. Higher or lower for Minnesota at 12?
There's a lot here to kind of wrap your head around. Do you believe, let's start here. At number 8, he's got Denver. Do you believe, because, they were kind of the darlings. They made that run at the end. Bo Nix played. Are we to believe that this is the thing that's tough in the league? And this is kind of where my comments from Washington come from as well. When you have that magical one-off season, can you back it up? The good to great teams that are young, that have the magical season kind of out of nowhere, they back it up. Houston had a tough time backing it up last year. They did. They had a little bit of a tough time backing it up. I really like the Chargers. Whatever you guys think of Harbaugh, I get it. And what he did at Michigan, fine. Maybe at some point there's a pound of flesh for that. I'm dubious to think that there will be. But he is a leader of men, and they can flip that thing pretty quickly there. So I think that I like the Chargers a little more. I like the Rams a little bit more. Stafford's back. They won the division last year. I like them a little bit more than Denver. I would almost, to me, Denver and Houston kind of feel about the same. And I think Minnesota right now is probably a little too high. Their quarterback is J.J. McCarthy, who had surgery in August and then had a second surgery, and they don't really have anybody else. So Minnesota, to me, I need to see it. I know they won 13 games. I got to see McCarthy play quarterback before I'd put them ahead of, for example, Tampa Bay, before they put them ahead of Cincinnati at this point. I'd have Minnesota a little lower, too.
So I think I feel like Minnesota, is right in that range because I believe J.J. McCarthy is going to be okay in the NFL, and I believe their offense may not be quite as dynamic passing-wise as it was last year with Darnold, but I think McCarthy will give them a little bit with his legs that Darnold couldn't give you, so I think that's okay. Bo, I am the exact opposite on the Chargers because I am so bullish that Justin Herbert is the most overrated player in the NFL. I just don't think he's a guy that can win at the quarterback spot. He'll put up all the numbers in the world, but it seems like he never does it when it matters. So I cannot have the Chargers in my top 10, no matter how much I like the rest of the team. And as you mentioned, Harbaugh's a good coach. I just don't think Herbert is it at quarterback.
At number 13 on this list, again, we're at NFLSpinZone.com and their NFL power rankings before the league's draft in Green Bay. At 13, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At 14, the Cincinnati Bengals. At 15, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 16, the Arizona Cardinals. Higher or lower for Arizona there?
I think when you do something like this, you have to view what do you do with Pittsburgh? So he writes about Pittsburgh likely winning the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. The Steelers are likely not going to be a whole lot better or worse than they were in 2024, and that's the main problem here. I actually think Rodgers will be, if he inevitably signs there, I think he'll be more than fine. I don't think he's totally cooked. I think he'll work well if he plays nice with Arthur Smith's system. They'll have two weapons. They can run it. They got a great defense. He has more arm strength, certainly, than Russell Wilson has, and he's more willing to throw it down the field, which will make Pickens and Metcalf happy. So I think Pittsburgh is a little devalued here. Their defense is really good. I think Cincinnati's a little devalued, too. I can't explain what happened at the start of last season. Neither can they. It makes no damn sense. But they have their guys back. I think they'll eventually make nice with Hendrickson. So I think Cincinnati needs to be a little bit higher up as well. Arizona, I really don't know what to make of them. I mean, Kyler's been there a while now, guys. Marv had a bad year. I'm not saying it's all on him, but like that, I thought that impact would be immediate, and it wasn't. It really wasn't. So to me, Arizona seems a little higher than I would have them.
Arizona definitely higher to me. Arizona, as long as Kyler is there, is probably a team that's going to be somewhere in the 20s. I think the Bengals have to go way higher. And the Steelers, as much as I respect that organization here, Aaron Rodgers isn't on that team yet. We've got to judge the Steelers with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback. So I don't know if he's putting the Steelers here because he's assuming Rodgers is there, but he's not there yet.
Let's move into the late 20s. At 28, New Orleans. 29, New York Jets. 30, Tennessee Titans. 31, New York Giants. 32, Cleveland Browns. Higher or lower? Well, you can't go any lower for the Cleveland Browns, the last team in the league. Ranked.
So it's funny. I was away when Russell Wilson and Jameis both went to the Giants, and I'd forgot that. What are the Giants doing? What are they doing with Russell Wilson and Jameis? Are they just saying, look, we're not getting a quarterback this year? Is that it?
They're covering their bases just in case, right?
I think so.
Why would you need both of them?
You can't walk a rookie into that quarterback room and think anything positive is going to come out of it.
Because,
are you kidding?
Because you don't want Tommy DeVito taking snaps.
No, that's fine, but why both? Just one.
You got to have a backup.
They're redundant. Tommy DeVito can be the backup. The rookie can be the third. Like, they're not going to win anyway. Like, to have those two guys who personality-wise could not be more opposite trying to kumbaya in a room is a wild thing. So, look, I think the Browns are last on this thing. I think right now, I don't think that their roster is the worst in the NFL, not by a damn stretch. But right now, they only have one quarterback. And so to Baker's point, like, you have to judge them on what they are right now. Right now, their only quarterback's Kenny Pickett. And you're going to need to see that. I think they're better than Tennessee. I think they're better than the Giants right now. I think they're in the vicinity of like the Jets, Saints, but I think their talent is better than those teams. But again, they went 3-14. You got to dig your way out of that.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking when I first saw that there's no way the Browns are the worst team in the NFL, but they were pretty close last year, and I don't know if they're any better at quarterback right now.
No, you got to see what's going to come out of this. I mean, you got the draft, and you potentially could have some more trades. Like, you put Cousins there, then that's going to be a more respectable team right away if that inevitably ends up the way that it happens. Katie Blackburn made some other comments at the owners' meeting that got the attention in terms of the future of the Bengals in Cincinnati. Is this a mountain out of a molehill situation for an NFL reporting luminary? We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Billy.
Hi, I'm Billy Hatcher, a former professional baseball player, and I'm a patient at Tri-State Men's Health. Before I started the treatment, it was like my body was sore all the time, and I was feeling very, very sluggish. One day, I would be full of energy, and the next day it was like, where did all my energy go? And since I've started, my body hasn't felt this good in a long time. I feel like, I'm not 21 to 25 again. It's just been great. I feel very, very comfortable coming here. When you have the energy, it's amazing. You get to do so many other things that you couldn't do prior to that. If you're tired of hurting in the mornings, you want to improve your health, you want to feel better, give a call to Tri-State Men's Health. I promise you, you will feel better.
Thanks, Billy. It's true. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code REDEEM to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save $84 on select sets of Ford Nokian tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends April 15th. See store for details.
You can catch all the Final Four action on 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fans HD2.
Live coverage from San Antonio starts Saturday at 4.
Your home of the Final Four. 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
Nearly 90% of Ohio's children grow up, learn, and dream at one of our public schools. As lawmakers continue to hammer out the new state budget, they must make sure the school funding formula reflects what it actually costs to provide a great education for everyone. Tell your lawmakers to keep their promise to Ohio's kids.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Expect some dry time early this afternoon as temperatures climb into the low 70s and upper 60s. We'll see winds die down as well out of that southwesterly direction around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Returning showers and some embedded thunderstorms move back in this evening as we fall down to the lower 50s overnight. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Erica Kalora.
Here's a listener tweet. Can I tase Common Man in the nuts? Fine by us, but he may like it. Common Man and Tebow.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. If you say something with enough confidence, it must be true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Been an interesting 24 hours or so for the Cincinnati Bengals. This from, now, Ben Baby, who we've had a lot, said that this is taken a little bit out of context based on the conversation they had with Katie Blackburn. But this has to do with the stadium. So the Cincinnati Bengals lease at Paycor Stadium is set to expire on June 30th, 2026. That's a little more than a year from now. Unless they exercise an option to extend it by 2 years on or before June 30th of this year. So a couple months. Team Executive Vice President Katie Blackburn was asked about the status of the lease during the recent league meetings. This is what she had to say to Kelsey Conway of the Cincinnati Enquirer. We play it day by day, and like everything else, we just continue to have discussions, see where things are, and then have to make decisions at the appropriate time. Florio writes, if the decision is made to not exercise the extension, the Bengals will essentially become geographic free agents after the upcoming season, and they aren't bashful about saying that part out loud. So this is the Blackburn comment that I really want to dig in on. She says, We could, I guess, go wherever we wanted after this year if we didn't pick up the option. So, we'll see. Like I said, all these things will be done in due course. We are having discussions, and so we're hopeful that the county is thinking about it a lot too and wants to get it addressed in a way that would be beneficial for both of us. She continues, we love where we are. Our stadium obviously needs to continue to be maintained appropriately, and you want to keep it at a certain level that's important just so that we're competitive with others. So this is one of those things where if you just listen to the words, I think it sounds relatively threatening. But my hunch is that if you had the audio of this, and now I don't know if it's this way in Cincinnati, but I know it's this way with the Browns, with the Haslams. When the Haslams had that conversation that they had with the local beat reporters who were down at the league meeting where Jimmy Haslam made the comments about the buck stops with us with Deshaun Watson, that was all done on the record. But the agreement was that that audio would not be something that would make its way around. That you could record it, but it wasn't going to be, this isn't a press conference. You're not hooking up to a malt box in our world and being able to broadcast it live the way, for example, to make sense of this, like we do with the Ryan Day press conference. So I'm wondering if the same thing happened here. And I think what's really critical to this is the question before the answer. We could, I guess, go wherever we wanted to after this year. My hunch is the question before that answer was, so theoretically, you guys could leave after this year if you wanted to. And she answered, we could, I guess, go wherever we wanted to after this year if we didn't pick up the option. This much is true. The Bengals stadium situation is not at all up to a standard that the league would want it to be at. It is also true that the Bengals' wealth, the ownership of that wealth, their money comes from owning a football team. They don't have liquidity the way so many of these other ownerships groups do. It is also true that the Cleveland Browns are trying to get a new stadium done out of downtown up in Cleveland. And if there is public state money for that, if you are the Bengals, wouldn't you want some of that as well to go into your stadium, which is owned by the county? So there's a little bit of red tape there in terms of the situations. The Browns stadium is owned by the city. This one's owned by the county. The Browns owners are liquid. They will be able to throw a bunch of their own money into whatever the new stadium out by the airport up in Northeast Ohio. The Bengals ownership group probably would not be able to do that. So what's the needle you thread here?
I mean, I would just tell Katie that, look, if they want money, whether it be from the state or from the county, like there's a pie, right? And if so much money is going to other things like public utilities and other services and fire and police, there might just be less pie for you, which is unfortunate in terms of state money you're going to get. So I don't know how that would go over necessarily, but yeah, I can't imagine the Brown family sitting there looking at that, $600 million package that the state legislature is thinking about for the Browns dome and going, well, that's something we could get similarly if we pressed hard enough.
Yeah, I think we're kind of at a point where, and we saw this, the best example of this was with the Rams, with their stadium, and Kroenke saying, I got it. I'll buy the land, I got it. I was out there 2 weeks ago today. We landed in Los Angeles. It's right near the LAX. Inglewood is right near LAX, if you're not familiar geographically. And the Intuit Dome is there, and the Rams Stadium is there. They're 5 minutes from LAX, no more. And he bought the old Hollywood Park, and then he built a stadium because you're not getting state funding in the state of California for a new stadium. You're going to fund that on your own. And if you're looking for proof that the state of California holds firm on that, go see where the Oakland A's are playing this year. Go see where the former Los Angeles Oakland Raiders are currently residing. Go see where the San Diego Chargers are paying rent to play in a stadium Kroenke built. So if the Bengals are ever going to do something beyond what they have with Paycor, it's going to have to come primarily out of their pockets. The same way what the Browns are trying to do with the Dome is going to come primarily out of their pockets. Now, they're hoping for some public funding on it, but the public, this is not going to be like what happened with Buffalo in the state of New York, where you got an $800 million check or $1 billion check from the state. This is not going to be like what happened with the Miami Marlins, where They got jobbed, quite honestly, with the Miami Marlins stadium. City got jobbed. County got jobbed. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think voters are going to approve that type of stuff. So this is going to fall on ownership of these teams. Billionaires should pay for their own stadiums, is the thoughts. At least the Lions' share of those stadiums.
You know, it could be kind of fun if someone was looking to make a name for themselves in politics in Kentucky. Make a push for moving the team just across the river.
Buddy, you and I watched Justified. You think the state of Kentucky wants to throw a bunch of money at an NFL team?
No, but to make up that kind of scuttlebutt, I think they're more than capable of doing.
I don't even know. Geographically, I don't know Cincinnati the way I know other parts. If they ever wanted, to me, the only way that Kentucky would make some sense right across the river. That would make some sense for Cincinnati if they ever want to do it. But this goes back to something we talked about with the Bengals a long time ago. And actually, the Bears are dealing with this. I don't know if you guys saw the news today that the Bears are like open to a year ago at the draft. The Bears said new stadium downtown, right on the lake, right where Soldier Field is, next to where all the museums are and all of that. Well, today, remember, Virginia McCaskey has passed. Yesterday, they reopened a possibility of going back to Arlington Heights, northern suburb of Chicago, right? So they opened that back up because they're running into a lot of issues with trying to do it downtown. It's complicated doing these things, especially in a city like Chicago, and especially when you're trying to do one downtown. It's complicated anywhere. This goes back to, and even the lineage of the Bears in terms of who's going to own that team, who's going to have the power. All of that is kind of being sorted out with the Bears right now. For the Brown family, whatever the future holds in Cincinnati, if they are going to start throwing some money around, I think it's got to come in the terms of private equity. It's going to be one of those things where, like Mark Davis did with the Raiders, you sell 15% of the franchise and you get $500 million. That's where the liquidity is going to come. I don't think we play the game thing or not a thing every day. I don't think this is a thing. They're not opting out of that lease in June. They're going to opt back in for 2 years. They don't have their ducks in a row.
Where are you going to go?
They don't have anything to hold anybody over a barrel over. There's nowhere to go. So, and the Bengals aren't leaving Cincinnati. So they'll stay there. They'll get this worked out. And they can't even really enter into a negotiation with the county right now because they don't have anything to leverage them against. Where are you going to go?
If they got the Super Bowl.
The context is the point on the Blackburn stuff. Is they're going to be in Cincinnati. They're just trying to maximize what they can get out of that stadium. And they need to. They've come a long way, but they need to do a little bit more in order to get up to par.
It's a shame.
You were just down there. You were right across the street.
Yeah, you could see it when we were sitting outside at the Holy Grail. Look right down the street and see it. It's a shame that the offseason that the Bengals have had so far, that we are talking about this stuff right now. Like, it just seems like this is poor timing on everything for the Bengals to take away all the momentum of the Chase and Higgins signings.
I think the Hendrickson thing, it's absolutely true. I think this is actually Florio making much ado about very little. I don't think there's much to this. I think the Hendrickson comments, that was silly. That was utterly preposterous. Jackets back at home tonight. The Avs are in town, although they aren't physically here yet, or maybe they are. We'll get an update with a little bit of Shelley time in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Bands are us when dreams sunk in. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Bands are us when dreams sunk in. Bands are us.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, 80% lean Kroger brand ground beef is on sale. 3-pound packages are $3.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Yeah, boss asked us to get the Ohio Lottery kiosks ready for the new $20 scratch-off, $2 million extreme cash. With $38 million in total prizes, we had to go big. We had cup holders, monster truck tires, even installed air horns in case somebody reveals the extreme symbol and wins every prize on the scratch-off. Boss thinks the light show's a bit much, but gotta celebrate $2 million top prize winners somehow. So yeah, play $2 million extreme cash from the Ohio Lottery. And if you can tell my boss I did a good job, that'd be cool too. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The gloves. It's Shelley time.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida. Discover the real Florida magic at visitcentralflorida.com.
And he joins on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline for a little bit of Shelley time. Jackets at Avs tonight with a question mark? Are the Avs in town, sir?
Well, you're in town, which is nice. The boys held it down, but good to be back. To have you back. No, they're not here yet. They wouldn't have been here this morning, anyways. But they would have been in town, of course. It's a pretty tough turnaround. 9:45. I think it was 9:50 puck drop last night Eastern, and 12:35 the game ended. They went to the airport. Which is quite a ways, right, from downtown Chicago. And then they got a hotel. So I'd say they're a little salty right now, still in Chicago. But they'll be here. I guess it was the weather last night that put them on hold. So it happens.
Just think of that.
It's a good little advantage for the Blue Jackets here today.
Sure as heck is. Just think logistically about that. I mean, I flew through Chicago last week, and I thought I was going to get stuck in Chicago, and I was at the point where I was going to drive to a northern suburb, rent a pickup truck, and drive home. Like, that's where I was at, because I didn't think there was any way the family.
Yourself?
With the family.
Yeah, you're talking about 50 people traveling, finding rooms, food. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing. With the family, stressful. I think that with the family, it's more stressful.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, it's like a pain in the butt, but it's not, you can deal with it.
Yeah, there's options when you're by yourself. You're with 5 people, you have no chance. But I just think logistically, like 50 people, you said they went to the game ends 12:30, go to the airport. So they're probably at the airport at 1, or they get some news around the airport, hey, we can't fly tonight, guys.
No, it would have been later than that. It would have been,
is it
because you get undressed, you get the truck. It was probably, you leave usually 40 minutes after on a quick turnaround. So you're thinking about maybe, 1:15, and then you get to the airport by, 1:45? Yeah, let's say 2.
Okay.
Let's exaggerate a little bit. And then you come back to the hotel. You find a hotel. You get that. I don't know if they stayed back downtown or what, but.
Well, do that part for a second, buddy. Where are there 50 hotel rooms?
That's where the travel person probably is ahead of it a little bit. I think that it probably evolved as they may have said, because usually we check out game day at like 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? So those rooms are held. Maybe I've seen it sometimes where they're extended for the night.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see. But that's still trekking back downtown from out at that airport, which is a good 30 minutes away.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, no excuses. They're a really good team. 96 points on the year, Stanley Cup champion from just a couple of years ago. But if you want an advantage, this would be one. And just from a fatigue, you play, so on night of back-to-back, that was going to be a benefit anyway, but now all of a sudden you have this crazy travel thing. They're not going to be a good mood, to your point. The last time we saw this Jackets team, they showed up ready to go, and the result was pretty emphatic. And a fun night at Nationwide to do that with the Preds. This is an every other day, sometimes back-to-back situation from here till the end of this season, buddy. What do you anticipate tonight?
Well, Colorado has an excuse, and you want to make them use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole importance of if you have an advantage, make the other team use it as an excuse. And Yeah, I think they have a game plan, and it's not the same game plan as against the Nashville Predators. I mean, Nashville is not a very good team. They were leaving the zone to push offense. It turned into a scramble fest, but hey, the Blue Jackets did exactly what they had to do. They put up big numbers. They got the win. Feel good. Yesterday there was a brief practice. A lot of it had to do with how Colorado's going to play. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of stretching the zone, stretching to the far blue line. Of course, McKinnon's got the speed. I think they got to bring some emotion and some kind of in-your-face to the superstars attitude, you know? Yeah. I think that's a key against these teams. I mean, if you go nose-to-nose and try to make it a skill competition, you're not going to win. So you got to pack it in front of the net. Teams that have had success against them lately, like Calgary, pack it in front of the net, let the goaltender make the saves, let them do their fancy stuff on the outside, and don't give them anything. And that's something that they can't give them the number of power plays. You can't turn pucks over. And I think go right at them. I think that's the key here tonight.
The game Tuesday was fun. You mentioned Nashville not on this level of this Colorado team, far from it. But one thing that I talked about with Porty was just how valuable this is. You know, people will come up to you. I'm sure people come up to you. Do you think we're going to make the playoffs? You're in it. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs. You're playing every other night.
For a month.
Yeah. And now it's really amplified. Jody, I don't know. I guess I can't say for certain, you would know better than me, if the NHL has always done this from a scheduling standpoint, or if it's just when you're in the middle of a chase. It's been a couple of years since we have been. But to play every other night, not only you're watching your game, you're watching like the Rangers last night and seeing how they were able to. I mean, you're scoreboard watching and you're trying to manage your own business. And for these young guys, I think this is invaluable.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I mean, this is, think of the other side of this when you're out of it and you're trying to create that urgency, that desperation on pucks, the going over the boards and realizing that in a tight game with 2 points on the line that, you need to raise your level and someone needs to break it open and, you need to save. It's you can't manufacture this. And I think that's the importance of this with a young group. Even the guys that have been here for a while, that haven't seen the playoffs for a while, like Zach Werenski, they're fed up of not being in this kind of hockey in April. So it's important. And you think about Dean Evison, the new coach coming in and the new management coming in with what they had here and what they've added. It's been a really, really important year for this whole franchise.
It absolutely has. And you think about the hat trick for Marchenko. He gets to 30 goals. Of course, Monahan gets a couple as well in the game last time out. Fantilli gets a couple. Like, it's just really cool. And the other thing that you're seeing, and we know this because we've been here a long time, but I mean, you're seeing the excitement that the city starts to get with this.
Oh,
yeah. And these things all play in. I do this, so I'm not down there on the ice or anything like that. And you're observing, although much, much closer. So to me, like, this season already feels like a total win. When you talk to the guys that you talk to on a daily basis who are in the battles, how critical would it be to actually get in?
That's all they want. And they feel like they're the team that deserves to be in.
Yeah.
And they feel like when they look at the other teams, they're the better team. So they'll be very disappointed if they don't get in. You'll look back probably in May, end of May or whatever, if they don't get in and be like, yeah, that was valuable. But for them right now, their purpose is every day to show up and they feel like they can earn their way in. They feel like it's still in their hands, and it will be. 9 games left is a lot of hockey. I mean, this is, and I said a couple of weeks ago, the losses are going to feel like we're out of it, and the wins are going to give us the boost. And that's just how it is. And it's for the fans, it's for the players, it's for the coaches. It's just the roller coaster of being in a playoff race, and it's the greatest part of it, believe it or not. It's coming to the rink after a loss and looking at each other and thinking you're done, and seeing the other team win, and now you're 4 points back, and you think the season's gone. But then you pick yourself up and get a win, and you're back in it. It's like, there is something about this team, a little bit of destiny too, I think, that is going to come into play here down the stretch.
I want to ask you about Marchenko. Saw the list of Blue Jacket players with 30 goals. Nasher did it a bunch, 8 times, but it's not a very long list. It's a relatively short list.
Yeah.
Did you see this season coming for him?
No, I can't say I did. New coach, trying to figure out where he comes in. You got to credit him for taking a big step in figuring out how to get to the inside of the ice and not just being a perimeter guy, and bringing more to every shift. You have the puck for under a minute every game on your stick. And he probably has it less. He probably has it for 20 seconds. And, you practice what you do with the puck every day, shooting, passing, carrying it. But he's learned away from the puck to be effective. On the back check, we've seen him turn pucks over. We've seen him knock pucks down on a goal here recently. There's elements to his game and understanding shifts that it's been really impressive. And that's the fact that he's got Monahan. I bet you if Nasher had Monahan, you said he had 8 hat tricks.
8.
And this isn't discrediting anybody he's played with.
Yeah.
If he had Monahan, he probably would have had 28.
Well, we looked for it forever. Honest. Jody, you're right. We looked. Yeah. I mean, we were looking for that forever.
Yeah, and ask Marchenko the value of Monahan. The passes the other night were in a spot where Marchenko had to do nothing but extend his hands. Didn't have to hold it and settle it. He didn't have to do there wasn't that extra half second gone. Even the 6-foot pass he made to him, it's it's in the perfect spot. It's at the right time. It's holding it so the goalie bites just enough so that Marchenko has a little more space. That's a number one center, and it's a huge. Fantilli did a great job. We talked about it. You can do it short term when you're young, but when you have the veteran savvy and you have that attitude towards the game that Monahan does, you make people better, and that's what a number one center does.
Absolutely. I'll get you out of here on this one. Who do you like tonight? Who are your picks to click?
Well, it's a big night for Zach Werenski going against Cale Makar, who's run away a little bit on points. I'm going to Zach. Zach hasn't scored in a while. I think Zach at his peak is going head-to-head with the best. This means something to Zach to be in the goal-scoring race, the points-leading race for a defenseman, being talked about in the Norris. I'm going with Werenski tonight. I think this is a night for him to rise up and grab this team again like he did before.
If they don't show up, do we just get the points anyway?
No, we'll have to play another game at the end of the year. We'll probably have to go to Denver.
I'm just looking for 2 free points. Let's get us 2 free points.
No, they don't hand them out. They don't hand them out.
Buddy. All right, got to earn them, and hopefully we earn them tonight. Appreciate you as always, my friend.
All right, have a great day. Thanks, Bo.
All right, there he goes. The great Jody Shelley with a little bit of Shelley time on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We had 3 things on a Thursday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
April 6th at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Rewards members get $5 off an acai bowl or an acai bowl with Nutella. Log into the app on April 6th to redeem your rewards. Terms and conditions apply.
This Ohio State football spring practice report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Roosters and by your Ohio Kubota dealers.
Ohio State football spring practice report.
One of the new things to watch for with the Buckeyes is C.J. Hicks moving from linebacker to rush end, something the defensive coordinator Matt Patricia addresses.
He's a tremendous guy, just the energy and the excitement, and he's always trying to please, he's really eager to learn everything. Skill set wise, he's really unique, he can play off the ball, he can play on the ball. He does a good job of transitioning his vision. Sometimes when you go behind the line of scrimmage, you got to adjust your vision, but he does that very well. When you watch him, obviously pass rush, and he can have some great skill pass rushing on the edge. But even in the run game, just that explosive pop that he can have. Some of the other type of hybrid, outside linebacker defensive ends that I've coached in the past, similar type of skill set, similar type of body frame, things like that. And that's good, because you can use them in unique ways and in different ways.
This report brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and by Weber Grills on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Imagine a tailgate. The heat of the flame, the sizzle of the burger, the squeeze of the ketchup. Grilling is essential to tailgating as the game itself. Weber grills are there in the hours, minutes, and even seconds before kickoff. Before the best damn band in the land plays the battle cry, signaling it's time to take the field. Weber is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. This season, Weber created an officially licensed limited edition Ohio State grill inspired by the iconic Buckeye helmets. Find the best damn grill in the land at local Ohio retailers.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cover more ground with the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick, featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, best-in-class acceleration and handling with cargo, and the strength to haul what needs hauling, all backed by a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get more done right with the Kubota Sidekick. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code REDEEM to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code REDEEM for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what are you on the poll today?
The Daily Fan poll is sponsored by Caster Connection, and it asks, who will win more games this season, the Guardians or the Reds? And your third options, they will have the exact same record. 56.
Lean on you guys. One of you guys Guardians, one of you Reds.
I think the Guardians will have more wins.
Yeah, I think hope makes me want to say the Reds, but past is usually the best predictor of future, and that's been the Guardians.
Now, the way the Guardians have been hitting, at least the way they hit in San Diego, would say the Guardians might have more wins, but it won't be by much.
Yeah, 2 1-0 losses in a row. Talk to me about hitting.
All right, you can have Reds.
You're pitching.
You can have Reds.
Ben Lively. Woof.
Reds, Guardians. San Diego looked great, though, didn't it? In the sun.
Boy, it sure looked wonderful.
Lovely.
They played that way, too.
Jackson Merrill signs that $100 million contract and produces
a home run the very same day. Yeah, so they're 7-0.
Yeah. Dodgers are 8-0.
Mm-hmm. Braves are 0-7.
I saw that as well, yeah. The Padres, it's amazing how going back to brown and yellow, which is not a color scheme that I think most people would say is attractive, just crushes.
But it worked.
It looks so good.
They look really good.
It's so clean. It's just a color scheme you rarely see. All right, you can have Reds, Guardians, Blue Jackets. I'm taking the Cavs out of this because they're the best team in the NBA, right? Well, I mean, Oklahoma City's the best, but they're the best in the East, and I think if they don't make the finals, it would be a wild disappointment. But you can have Reds, Guardians, Blue Jackets. Which one of those three is most likely to win a championship first in your life?
Guardians.
I got to go Jackets because that's what I want to see the most. I think they're on the right path.
It does, but it's, as you know, it's a long, arduous path. The thing about from the guard, I think Guardians is probably the right answer, just because they get so many bites. They're always in the playoffs, right? So you just need to find the combination of pitching and time that gets you, and they've been there. They've been on the precipice. They had a Game 7 in Cleveland not that long ago. So I think that's probably the correct answer. All right, time for 3 things. Hit it, fellas.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
All right, number 1 for me. I watched the most recent episode of The Righteous Gemstones last night. And I don't know how Danny McBride and Jody Hill do it. I don't know what sort of mental state they get into to dream up this stuff that opens an episode with Walton Goggins as Uncle Baby Billy water skiing naked and ends with John Goodman and Megan Mullally in a position that any kid would laugh at, but they do. In between, you got a nanny who's like East German, I think, kind of. You got Uncle Baby Billy pulling. I mean, I just have come to the conclusion that I think Danny McBride is the funniest person on the planet. And I think almost anything he does, it's a home run. Like, it's incredible that he did this with Eastbound and Down, and then he ran it back. Vice Principals was largely okay, but then he ran it back with this is unbelievable. That he created 2 worlds that are just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll second that. Gemstones has been pretty wonderful. I'm going to be sad to see it go, but I don't know how much more he probably wants to keep doing that because, like you've said, it seems everything he does is vastly different from the first, and it still hits. I got a Ninja Creamy last week. It's like an at-home ice cream maker that turns anything frozen into ice cream or sorbet.
Okay.
It sounds like a jet engine, but it does a pretty good job. Like, you're able to use any kind of milk as long as you freeze it, and it's got like you absolutely have to follow the instructions. But for at-home ice cream, the Creamy is everything that it's been cracked up to be.
How about that?
My first thing, so we pay attention, right, to other things that are going on in the radio industry, the media industry. And 700 WLW out of Cincinnati, their longtime morning host, Mike McConnell, is calling it quits on Friday. Friday is his last day, and this morning he announced who his replacement will be. It is none other than Tom, don't call me Tom.
You're going to do it.
Brenneman.
Good.
Bold move, Cotton. But we'll see how it works.
I think it'll be more than fine. And I mean, he made a mistake. He's apologized for it 1 billion times. Like, I don't know that he should be in, like, purgatory forever for it. You know, like, he cost him a lot with that. So, all right, number 2 for me. Remember I told you guys how NBC was, like, randomly, without any notice to us, selling sports cards online, okay, and, like, shipping them out? Well, he made, and I think I mentioned this, like a couple $1,000s doing this, okay? So now that was interesting. When I had supplied the product, he was able to profit on the supplying of the product. But now that's kind of been pushed to the side. So now he's like, well, now I want to spend some of this product, which is pretty classic for a 13-year-old. So yesterday, I get home from Beamsley's lacrosse practice, and I go upstairs in like their game room den area, and there is a driving simulator he is installing. So it's a car seat, it's a steering wheel, it's a shifter, it's a gas, a clutch, and a brake. And he's really gotten into this F1 game. And I said, what is going on? How did this happen? He's like, well, I had the money. So he had the money. He went to his mom. He gave her the money. And then he bought a driving simulator for like the Xbox to play the F1 game that he plays. And I got to say, I hopped on the thing. Pretty great. Pretty great. I don't know what he paid for it. I'm terrified to even look. But it was pretty great.
What kind of car? Like, I'm going to make this my second thing. Like, what was the most expensive card? I guess what was the card that returned the best for him from his collection?
He had a Matt Stafford. It was like all the cards now race are like limited release cards, like the ones that are worth the most. So he had some sort of Matt Stafford limited release card that was like 1 of 10 that he sold for like $1,300. That was the big one.
Because I just see this, like a Caitlin Clark rookie auto sold for $366 over the weekend. $366,000 for a baseball card. Or, well, I guess a basketball card in this.
It's crazy. So he scoured through, like, basically my wife and I had bought them cards for he's 13 for probably the last 10 years, and they never really paid any mind to him. And then he just went through and found all these cards that were worth money, and then he just starts selling them.
My second thing, our second edition of Slap Shots with a CBJ player on the fan socials drops here in just about 5 minutes, so you can see our little interview. I think it's about 4 minutes with Kent Johnson. Here's some cool things like what his favorite road trip is and who his best friend in hockey is as well. So make sure you stay tuned to all of the fans' social channels for that.
Give us a little hint on the road trip.
Well, he is a British Columbia guy, so he likes that Western Canada swing.
There you go. Finally, for me, big ups to Bootsy. He won sort of excellence award at his school, and also landed a co-lead in the play, of which I had no idea that either one of those things were possible. Him behaving excellently, or that he even tried out for the play, but he came home and said he did. So God bless you, Boots. Good job out of you.
Yeah, hang that banner. I'm pretty confident in my Cleveland Cavaliers. By the time we reconvene on Monday, they will have clinched the 1 seed in the East.
Feels like it.
Last thing for me, Rothman and Ice. They didn't hook up with him yesterday, so Adam Schefter at 12:30 this afternoon.
You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow on a Friday edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me, you're home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. Visit Giant Eagle to see how easy it is to save.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel Ohio. Tel Ohio Credit Union has been financing dreams and fueling the local economy for 90 years. And as the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions, learn why more than 3,000 business owners trust Tel Ohio. Visit telohio.org/business.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay -108 than -110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business, and that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.